the stream.
This is the Pod 16
bizarrely
finals,
third semifinals. Returning to the finals table.
Top 10 ITC.
WTC Team Scotland, and I'm hopeful for 20.
The Canadas could make it.
Closer to any more play time.
We're going to see some fireworks today, ladies and gentlemen.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Tactical Tortoise. This is Trevi, and we have another exciting game for everyone right here on the tail end of 8th edition. Hope everyone's excited to watch some competitive 40K. This is a match between two heavy hitters in the meta right now, two staples of 8th edition that I think will probably make the transition over to 9th edition pretty well. So I don't think that this is a matchup that we will be seeing for the last time for sure. This is Orteal in the red playing Adeptus Mechanicus, Martian Adeptus Mechanicus to be precise. No mixed detachments here. We are all 100% Mars. Versus Commandant Drill, playing Aeldari over in the blue. Appropriately, the players have selected their colors in the blue, playing Mechanized Aeldari. So this is going to be Eldar, Craftworlds Eldar, Pure Craftworlds, featuring a whole boatload of tanks. It's going to be some tank-on-tank action going on here for you all today, ladies and gentlemen. And two of the most efficient armies in the game are going to be slugging it out today. Let's talk about these lists quickly. So right now, Orteal is going through the deployment. We did roll a Dawn of War deployment for this map mission. Unfortunately, the players did not put the deployment zones up before they click Start Game, so they're just measuring manually right now to put the deployment zone down. But we are on Dawn of War, and we are on Cut to the Heart for this ITC mission, which is placing an objective in each player's deployment zone. Each player places an objective in their opponent's deployment zone, and the bonus point is to hold the center as well as the objective that they placed. So they will have to cross the table pretty far in order to secure that bonus point, which may be tough for these two lists, but their heavy armor belies the fact that they are pretty fast and pretty speedy lists. This is not a Styges Admech list, so it's not going to be quite as fast as I think people expect it to be, but it does have a lot of pretty speedy boys that we'll talk about. We'll go over Orteal's list quickly here while he is deploying. Like I mentioned before, this is a Martian list, and it consists of a single brigade. You can find the list in the description of the video as well. If you go down to the description, it's probably below the fold, so you'll have to click Show More in order to take a look. But this brigade's bringing Belisarius Call, Daedalosus, a Tech Priest Engine Seer, as well as a Tech Priest Manipulus into the list as the HQs. To fill out this troops allotment, we have 6 units of Scutarii Rangers, 3 with Transuranic Arquebuy, 3 just with their Galvanic Rifles. We also have, for the elites, a unit of Servitors, 2 units of Fulgurite Electro Priests, 10 in each. There is a Dune Rider, I believe, allocated to one of those units, but one's just going to be foot-slogging it, so we'll see how well they are able to stay alive in the early game. We also have a unit of Iron Strider Bellistarii. These guys are the big long leggy boys, and they're all armed with twin autocannons. Orteal was telling me before the game that the combo here is you can use Wrath of Mars in addition to their new +1 to wound strat, triggering their Wrath of Mars mortal wounds on 5s instead of 6s, which is a little bit of extra damage out of that unit, which I think is going to be very appropriate. And those guys are going to be pretty good at knocking out some of these Eldar vehicles, I think. That's going to be an important unit to watch during this game. And I do like that the new Psychic Awakening has brought units that we didn't really see before, but that I think still had legs. Hey! Into the meta, and I think they look cool also, so I'm excited to see them on the table. We also have a unit of Patraxii Skywalkers, or Sky Stalkers, excuse me. These are not the Flamer, the Flamer unit. These are the guys with the fleshlight carbines. They also can drop in and drop bombs on people if they fly over them, mostly a harassment unit. For just a couple points, pretty cheap for those guys that are coming in at 2 wounds apiece as well, which is pretty relevant. We also have 2 units of Cerberus Raiders, 9 Raiders apiece with their carbines. Probably mostly a screening unit for Orteal. They do have the stratagem to fall back as soon as someone declares a charge against them. Not sure how useful that's going to be in this particular matchup against 2 relatively gunline-centric armies, but we are also... They do also have the ability to fire at characters, even if they're not the closest, which means that Commandant Drill will have to be very cagey with his Psychers. Obviously, losing those Psychers could spell doom for an Aeldari list, and there is a lot of sniping in this Martian Admech list that he's going to have to be worried about. We have, last but not least in this, we have the Dune Rider that I mentioned before. A single Dune Rider, obviously not enough points to fit the rest in with all these big guns on the table. But we have the ubiquitous spearhead of triple Scorpius. The formation of 3 Scorpius with Belarus energy cannons to drop down some pretty reasonable indirect fire at that AP1, 2 damage, and obviously can be buffed by the new Martian Canticle. Chat is saying that the link to the list is outdated and shouldn't be the case. Weird. All right, chat. I've entered the list link again. Oh, it looks like I posted it in the wrong spot in the description. I apologize, everyone. If you check again, it should be there now, and I'm going to post it in the chat as well, so you can take a look at those lists. I do apologize for that. And speaking of that, let's go over Drill's list real quick. Drill. No stranger to the stream. He's been doing very well in the standings so far, and I don't know if he has any pod wins under his belt yet, but has certainly gotten to the final table and podiums in several T5S2 events, and is currently doing pretty well on the standings for himself, mostly with this same mechanized Aeldari list. It's a pretty straightforward... gunline that uses the efficiency of Aeldari vehicles, basically to just outmath your opponent. They're they're not that easy to kill, not particularly resilient, but harder than their points cost, I think, would indicate to take down. And they will just sit around and shoot you with missile launchers all day until the game is over. That list is consisting of 3 spearhead detachments, so we are not bringing any troops into this game. There's no objective secured for Commandant Drill on the table at all, which could be problematic for him, especially if these Electropriests get over into his deployment zone. So it's up to him to kill those guys before they get too close. The first spearhead detachment consists of 3 fire prisms and 3 night spinners, as well as a Farseer Skyrunner to lead them with just a Witchblade. We also have the second spearhead detachment coming in with a Warlock Skyrunner, a unit of 9 Shining Spears. He has indicated that he's swapping out the Exarch Power to withdraw, which allows the unit to fall back 6 inches at the end of the fight phase. So they are pretty good at sort of hit and run style fighting, especially if you charge them, they can fight and then leave, and then are free to shoot and fight again. We have a Viper in that detachment. Mostly, Drill uses this little guy to screen, especially if he needs it, but also with the Expert Crafter's Craft World trait, just having a single Aeldari missile launcher for just a couple points that can have full rerolls effectively if he needs it is pretty handy, especially with a Viper's speed on the table. They're going to be able to zip across pretty quickly and grab backline objectives. The Drill needs them to. We also have 3 support weapon platform teams, each with 3 vibro cannons. I think the list might be incorrect, but 3 vibro cannons each for those. Again, those all split off into individual units as soon as they deploy, which means that Expert Crafters works on every single one of those cannons independently, so you get a ton of free rerolls out of those guys. And vibro cannons stack their strength and damage the more times you hit your target with a single cannon, with vibro cannon weapons, excuse me. And as they stack up, they can become pretty lethal towards the end of the chain. The last Spearhead detachment coming in with a Spiriteer, as well as 3 Falcons. The Falcons, again, sort of replacing the Wave Serpent as a, transport option of choice, although they're not going to be transporting anything today for the Aeldari. They are just extremely, extremely efficient for only 115 points, bringing in a Pulse Laser as well as a Star Cannon to the table with the benefits from Expert Crafters is very solid. And it's effectively a wound skew for the most part. It's very difficult to beat sort of just the amount of volume of resilience that this list has. None of these tanks individually are difficult to kill, but the fact that there are 9 of them it kind of makes up for that. And Drill uses the Falcons a lot of times to project force across the table. Because they have fly, and this is 8th edition, they can fall back and shoot. So he can use them as a screen. He can use them to soak charges and soak damage from his opponent's melee units. And afterwards fall back and allow the Night Spinners and I don't know if this guy's going to fit within 12 inches there. Looks a little dicey. And allow the Night Spinners and the Fire Prisms to really deal a ton of damage. The Fire Prisms, so far, from what I've seen, are effectively the biggest damage dealers in the list, using the linked fire stratagem, obviously, to allow them to pseudo ignore line of sight and then deal some additional rerolls on top of their Master Crafters, the Expert Crafters ability. Excuse me. So overall, a hyper-efficient list out of the Eldar versus, I think, a little more tricksy list coming out of Orteal. And it's going to be an interesting game to see the conflict between these two styles of army. The Cerberus Raiders and the Electro Priests on Orteal's side of the table certainly have the ability to give him some force projection across the table and really threaten Drill's sort of backline units. But on the flip side, just the sheer firepower of the Aeldari list may be able to take those guys out before they deal too much damage. However, we do have these Iron Strider Ballistarii, as well as the obviously efficient Belleros Disintegrators, which we have seen time and time again do immense damage on the Admech side of the table. And I think this game is going to be no different, and we're going to see some fireworks, and it's going to be pretty exciting. Hope everyone's excited to see this game. I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining me on this, taking their Saturday morning off from ordering their Indominus box sets to watch this game of 40K. I am psyched to get this game, to see this game and to see how it goes. And I hope everybody is as well. Keep in mind, we did have a spot just before the stream launched, but this event obviously is part of the T5S2 tournament series to determine the world's best online 40K player. And the culmination of that series, the first seasonal invitational tournament, will be taking place on August 3rd. That will be totally in 9th edition. This is sort of the last hurrah of 8th. We have a couple more pods to finish up before we have some final standings on July 26th. And after that, a week after that, we will begin the invitational tournament, which will go for 2 more weeks. We will have 6 additional rounds between the top 16 players in the series, and the winner of that will win all sorts of accolades and prizes. We have about $700 of prize support right now for the top 3 placers, as well as some additional goodies for the rest of the participants. But it's going to be a big deal, everyone, and it's going to be a sick event, and I'm so excited to be able to stream it and bring it to you guys live on air. So everybody in chat, how are we feeling about this matchup today? Let me know. Who do you think's going to win? We do have the Orteal in the red going first. He did win the roll to go first and choose to take the first turn, which is typically what you want to be doing, playing Adeptus Mechanicus, especially with all these autocannons on the table. So I think that's very fair, and forces Driel back from, I think, the aggressive placement that he really wants to adopt. He wants to take sort of an aggressive stance and be able to push up into Objective 1 as quickly as possible and just sit a bunch of Falcons on there and force his opponent into his guns. But going second means that he cannot allow any of those models to even potentially be in range of Fulgurite Electropriests. Electropriests, without fear, going first can pretty easily knock one of these vehicles out of the sky, and then acquisition at any costs to bring themselves to a 2+ invulnerable save. And that is not something a drill can really deal with, because I think with this brigade of CP available to Orteal, he may just elect to keep spending for that 2+ invulnerable save and keep that unit alive as long as possible to give him hold more primary points for the entirety of the game, which is, I think, would be pretty good. Let's talk about the secondaries these players have picked. Simone in the chat, calling it for Nick. Looks like we got support for our Admech in the chat here. Orteal picking Big Game Hunter, I think a pretty reasonable pick. He's also picked behind enemy lines. I imagine that is what he's earmarked his Patraxii to do, or Terraxii, excuse me. They're probably going to drop in down in... Oh, I don't have my marker up yet. Let's turn that on. Excuse me, everyone. He's probably going to drop his Terraxii in this building, assuming the drill does not screen it out. Drill does typically use his support weapon platforms to do some screening for him, because they can take up a lot of real estate. But the downside of that is you open them up to giving up free kills pretty early for your opponent. And one way you can actually sort of squeak some secondary points out of this list is take Butcher's Bill. And you can score that pretty easily. You can actually max it just killing 2 of these support weapon platforms every turn. And you can also grab characters and grab things like this Viper that are pretty easy to take out, or vehicles that you don't need to score Big Game Hunter on. And you can actually max a Butcher's Bill pretty quickly because of those support weapon platforms. So a lot of times he will use them to screen out areas of the table, but he does expose them. They're not the easiest thing to kill, but they aren't as resilient as a Falcon, let me tell you. We also have so ground controls is the last maneuver objective for Orteal. I think a pretty reasonable one, although it does require him to control Objective 2 at the end of the game in order to score max points from it. I wonder if he has elected to just score 2 from it, just holding these 2 objectives. Although ground control is a little awkward because he's going first. So Drill has the opportunity to react to his final round placement and can try to clear him off those objectives before the game ends. That says we do have some resilient units from the Adeptus Mechanicus, so he might be able to stick there for a bit. But as we have seen in the past, Drill plays extremely conservatively, and I think Drill usually plays a game that's very conducive to ground control. It'll be interesting to see if Orteal can justify that pick with his play. That one I am a little concerned about, but I think behind enemy lines, Big Game Hunter, probably 2 pretty reasonable ones. Going first, and especially with these Cerberus Raiders on the table, Recon also on the table for Orteal, I think. But maybe with the Dawn of War deployment, that's one of the most difficult deployments to grab Recon points on, so maybe he was just a little bit worried about that. Over on Drill's side of the table, we have Marked for Death, and he has picked the cavalry units as well as one of the Fulgurite Electropriest units and the Terraxii as his Marked for Death targets. We have Big Game Hunter for Drill, another pretty obvious one. You can score that off not only the Scorpii, so the Dune Riders and the Disintegrators, but also the Belisariae are vehicles, even though they're in one big unit. And all you have to do is deal 10 wounds to a vehicle unit, so he just has to kill basically 2 of those Iron Striders are going to be a single big game hunter point and 3 points if he kills all 3 of them. So I think that's another very reasonable pick for him. And then, like I mentioned before, Drill typically plays a game that's conducive to ground control and tries to attrition out his opponent, give up points on the hold and hold more early game so that he can slowly grind his opponent into dust and then score his maximum points on ground control at the very end of the game. So I think some reasonable picks from these players. The only one that I'm questionable on is that ground control pick from Orteal, but we will see how he's able to do. I think he has pretty reasonably anticipated that he's not going to get too much of an opportunity to take out Drill's models in the early game. So he's hedging his bets with 2 maneuver secondary picks there. Glargify, we're not taking Gangbusters instead of March for Death, much easier to get. Yeah, you can score Gangbusters off the Cerberus Raiders, right? Because they're 3 points, or 3 wounds each. So 2 of those will be 1 Gangbuster point. I do agree that probably would have been a better pick, for sure. But I think that he may be trying to punish any of Orteal's moves with his Tyraxii and his Electropriests specifically, and March for Death is a good way to do that. So you can sort of make it so that your opponent may think twice about moving aggressively with those cavalry units, although it looks like he's just going to do it anyway. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. Here come the Cerberus Raiders, coming to do some raiding. Glargify, killing the walkers will give up gangbusters. Unfortunately, the walkers do not give up gangbusters because they're vehicles. So that was that you can't do that. Go back to the players' mics here and talk. See what they're talking about. While we're thinking about it, let's take a look at some of the data sheets from these new Adeptus Mechanicus models. A lot of these models are new to the stream. New as of Engine War, and we haven't seen what they can do on the tabletop quite yet. So the Cerberus Raiders that Orteal is using now, obviously they can target characters, even if they're not the closest. They also have They all have the sniper ability to deal mortal wounds on rolls of 6, and their galvanic carbines are assault 2. So even with that super long advance, looks like we had a 5-inch advance for that unit into the forest. They're going to be able to shoot, although only with an 18-inch range. I don't know what they're gonna quite have range on. That will make a big difference, but he may be electing to try to deal some damage to the Shining Spear unit before it's able to come out and start giving Orteal some trouble in the late game. It looks like the Cerberus Raiders have a pregame movement that... Oh, this may be their pregame movement, actually, now that I'm looking at it. So that would actually be pretty terrifying for Drill. I think he has done a pretty good job of protecting his characters. I'm not sure if we're going to get too much line of sight into the Farseer, or the Warlock back here, excuse me. The Spirit Seer is protected in these tanks, but because the tanks are off the ground, you should be able to draw line of sight to him pretty quickly. And the Farseer Skyrunner looks like is sandwiched inside this building, and he'll be relatively safe. So we may see the Spirits here go down. Maybe a couple of attacks going in on the Shining Spears as well. But we'll see how it goes. Erigera The Raiders will die to get bonus hold more. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. I like this placement from Teal of these Raiders on this side of the table on this right-hand flank. I think that's pretty insightful, knowing that his opponent's probably going to try to counter-deploy his Ballastarii and place most of their power on this side of the table. He has placed a unit that's pretty maneuverable anyway to jump over there. One thing that I'm worried about, obviously this unit can go grab the bonus point, is the ability to score this central objective. Although these guys, I don't think that they got a long enough advance to get to the middle. We might see the Scorpius advance to get to the middle. But you do need to hold that center objective to get the bonus point, and that's what he would need to do on turn 1. Looks like we may need to repair some placement on Drill's side on these fire prisms. See if we can get that fixed. Hey Drill, can we shift the fire prism so that they're not hanging off the edge of the table there? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that hard for him to do. He probably just needs to, to rotate some stuff around and shift some models. Yeah, he's... the one on the left may have to shift up a teeny bit, but it looks like you have space next to the other one. Yeah, that should be good. There is a lot of space that Drill has to collapse into this flank. I think that he's just placed them the way they are oriented to save a little bit of time. But you are still not allowed to overhang off the table, so it's fair that we... Okay, so it looks like the Scorpius Dune Rider was able to get onto the objective even though the Rangers failed to do so. So that will open up the Cerberus Raiders to get to Objective 2. And those bonus points are going to be pretty important. I imagine this Raider unit gets vaporized pretty quickly, but that is... Those bonus points are hard to get and will be almost impossible for Drill to deal with because he's probably not going to be able to score bonus points himself very easily. It's also going to mean that Orteal may be able to grab a behind enemy lines in round 1 as well, which will be a pretty big deal before his Patraxii have to come in. Yeah, the Toughness 3, Eric, in the chat. For sure, Toughness 3 is going to be brutal. I think these Shining Spears have a pretty good chance of coming in and just vaporizing one of these units without the big guns having to get involved. One of the things that you don't think about a lot of times when you play against this Aeldari list is that each one of these tanks, in addition to their pretty devastating primary weaponry, has a twin shuriken catapult mounted to them. So they have a 12-inch range, 4-shot, rending gun. And in addition, the Shining Spears are always going to be in this, always going to be a danger in the list, and they can really sweep any infantry that comes close to them. So they just put out an immense amount of firepower that can kill, a bunch of sort of lightly armored stuff pretty quickly. So depending on how close these Cerberus Raiders elect to get, I think that I don't even know if Drill has to commit any of his actual firepower to take those guys out, and he can put all of it into the units that are farther away, the Scorpius Dune Rider, for example, and he can just kill these guys with his incidental firepower. It all depends on how much damage these Cerberus Raiders are going to be able to do immediately right now with their move and their attacking. Hopefully we do see at least one Spiriteer go down to these guys with their sniper carbines. I wonder if we're angling for a charge here from Orteal, just to force this formation to move. They don't do much damage in melee. Even their Overwatch isn't that scary because you don't really have any rerolls or anything like that. But it does force you to fall back, and almost every weapon on these tanks, besides those shuriken catapults, is a heavy weapon. So even though they can fall back and shoot, they are going to be able to. They are going to get that -1 to hit, which is a pretty big deal. Basically, giving your entire army Styges for a turn is pretty good. Not to mention the fact that this Aeldari formation is packed so close together that they're probably going to have to jump over it in order to take those shots, and that sort of ruins their lines of sight, makes it a little bit more difficult for them to stay out of range, to kite out of range of these Ballistarii. There'll be a tactic that's a little bit more impactful in 9th Ed. Although, because a lot of these weapons have, I believe, have the blast keyword, they're going to be unable to shoot in combat, and flying units will no longer be able to fall back and still shoot. So, being able to engage a wide swath of your opponent's guns can eliminate a ton of firepower, and it forces all of their small arms to go into those raiders if they want those tanks to shoot at all. Looks like this other Rainer unit probably angling for the same play. Sort of imagine with the ability to, Orteal would go for a bonus point, but maybe he's going to be maneuvering to chain back to Objective 2. Because you have those long cavalry bases and the 2-inch coherency, you have a pretty long way that you can, long distance that you can chain to grab an objective if you need to. Ed Valdor says non-blast autocannon style weapons are going to be the key in 9th edition. I do think, it seems to me, that sort of combined arms weapons, or sort of very flexible weapons, are going to be extremely good. Weapons with a high volume fire and also reasonable damage, so that they can kill hordes of infantry or they can shoot vehicles. Whichever method your opponent is trying to stand on objectives with, whether it be hundreds of models or just high armor values, I think will be important. Looks like the objective's not locked down there. Okay, I think they caught it. I was about to tell the players to lock that. I don't want anybody to go flying if that objective flips over like a frisbee. But certainly having the ability to fire in melee with non-blast weapons is going to be a big deal as well. So that units like these Cerberus Raiders that come in and just touch you are going to be a little bit less effective. So it looks like Orteal electing not to go for any engagements with these Raiders at all, just moving all of them to Objective 2. I wonder where his other allocation of fire goes. I think he does have to be, he's sort of forced to be aggressive in this situation, especially with Drill's defensive deployment, he's sort of forced back, or he's forced Orteal to come to him, which is, I think, very appropriate for this Aeldari list. But I don't think Orteal can afford to keep these Iron Strider Ballastarii in the back of the fight. They're going to have to move pretty aggressively forward. And they may be able to draw a bead into this Falcon here. And with their +1 to wound stratagem, I think they have a pretty reasonable chance of killing it. Eric Arrow is hoping for a long charge in the Farseer Skyrunner. I'm not sure that he actually could have made that charge. With only a 12 inches of movement, you could maybe have gotten a model here, but then you have to get all the way through around the wall in order to successfully make that. Which would be very difficult, I think, if not impossible. And we did see Orteal doing some pre-measuring earlier. That might be something that he was considering, but it looks like he thought otherwise, and I think that's fair. I don't think there's any realistic way that the Raiders get into melee with that guy. But I was wondering if they were maybe angling to engage this Falcon with a chain back to the objective, but might just have elected not to bring them into range. And here comes the Iron Striders. Looks like they'll be pretty far out. I imagine that they are a 48er on their gun. Take a quick talk about their data sheet real quick. They are 48 on their autocannons. They can advance and shoot those with their 10-inch movement. But they looks like electing not to do so. But in general, 6 wounds. A toughness 6, not the easiest thing to take out, especially when you're sporting 30 wounds on the entire unit. And with 4 shots apiece, again with that +1 to wound stratagem and Wrath of Mars to deal additional mortar wounds, I think that's going to be a pretty effective unit if it's able to get a couple rounds of shooting in. Although Drill's defensive deployment looks like has maybe we get a couple shots in here with these guys. But I think has mitigated the damage from them pretty significantly. One thing I should note, I think this sort of cagey game state has been facilitated by the players' very smart placement of objectives. Orteal placed his objective in an area where he knew he could have a clear line to grab it. Drill elected to place the his objective on the same side of the table. But in doing so, basically opened up this game to turn into a big slug match. And has made it difficult for him to occupy his own objective because he knows Orteal is going to set up shop on that objective to grab that easy hold point every turn. I wonder how this deployment in this turn 1 would maybe have progressed differently if Drill had placed his objective on the other side. You also ignore other models in your unit when you're drawing line of sight? We should note as well that we have replaced, for the Canticles, we have replaced the Litany of the Electromancer with the special Martian Canticle from Engine War. Vicium, Admech OP, have they won yet? They did win the roll to go first, which I think is going to be a big deal, especially for scoring, because they're able to get a jump on this objective 2 and get a couple points off that before their fast elements are taken out. That said, the damage output of the Adeptus Mechanicus looks a little... we'll see how well it's able to do. There's not sort of a huge, terrifying shooting battery that a lot of times we see with Cataphron Breachers or with the robot units. We just have these Iron Striders, which I think are going to be able to deal a lot of damage, but we'll see how they're doing. Right now, they're just shooting into Falcons, which is sort of the expendable portion of Driel's army. And obviously, this Aeldari army, almost everything in the army is extremely lethal on the swingback. But certainly, Adeptus Mechanicus, one of the most powerful, one of those, maybe the most powerful faction in the game right now. We'll see how it goes, but it has been sort of dominating T5S2 ever since Engine War was released. And we'll see how it does in 9th edition. I think it's extremely well suited to do the same thing in 9th. It has an extreme damage output. It's very fast and very resilient, and all of those things. Those three things are what you need to do to be good in 9th edition missions, in my experience. So I think both these lists may have the opportunity to excel. The Aeldari list, although, I will say, I do think some Adeptus Mechanicus units may be undercosted. But I think this Aeldari list on the other hand, is probably another one of the most efficient units, most efficient lists in the game so far. Vicium should get increases on things like Disintegrators. I think, Disintegrators for sure. I can't imagine that we don't see a points increase to them. So 10 damage coming out of that unit of Iron Striders into this Falcon. Pretty effective Alpha Strike, and now the Scorpius. The Scorpii will probably finish that off with its indirect fire. Eric Gare and Night Spinners are definitely undercosted too. I would say I think most of the vehicles in this Aeldari list are probably undercosted. Losing the ability to fall back and shoot is going to be a big deal in 9th edition, but I do think that their other abilities make up for it. The fact that they're very fast and get that expert crafter's ability is going to be a pretty big deal. Yeah, here's hoping that artillery increase in 9th edition. I was hoping that we'd see some rules that would mitigate their power, but so far they've been almost as powerful as they have, although I think dense cover has been a big blow to artillery, since a lot of times if there's a dense cover anywhere near the center of the table, you're almost always going to be tracing line of sight over it. So I do think that that has a little bit of an effect, but stuff like Thunderfire cannons that are hit on 2s anyway and can get access to full rerolls, I probably don't care about that. Pretty lucky shot from Orteal here, knocking two two Shining Spears out with. Ooh. All right, well, here goes the Cerberus Raiders. Probably the best shooting phase you could hope for with them. Not going into the characters, but they take out the Wounded Falcon and two Shining Spears after some terrible rolling from Drill. Whew. Brutal. Luke McCarthy, F in chat for all the Eldar Grav tanks that can't fall back and shoot in 9th edition. I'm going to come out and say it. I think they're still going to be good. Especially Eldari missile launchers. We'll just be able to shoot. They'll just be able to shoot in melee anyway. Right? Because they can just fire their non-blast profile. As far as I know. Yeah, fortunately for the people fighting against the Eldari, they do have sort of a lack of those sort of autocannon style abilities or weapons that we were talking about earlier. So I do think that not being able to fire or not being able to fall back and shoot, their firing in melee is probably not going to be great. So that is going to be a pretty big deal. But moving firing without penalty, like Eric Gare is pointing out in chat, I think that may be even a bigger deal for them because they get to utilize that 14-inch movement a lot more often. And I don't know if any faction really has units that are better at sweeping infantry than stuff like Shining Spears, especially infantry that comes in to engage you. Shining Spears will just come in and mop those up very quickly. Luke McCarthy, it's going to feel bad having to fire the big guns into the Cerberus Raiders. I don't know if that Drill's going to have to do that. He can fall back with those tanks like we were talking about earlier in the turn. He can shoot all of his between all those tanks. There's what is that? 7 times 4, 28 shuriken shots plus all of the shots from the remaining Shining Spears. Another 28 from them in their laser lances. I think he can clean them out. I think he can clean them out without having to dedicate any of the heavy hitters. But the big upside of those Cerberus Raiders is they are going to force those tanks to move and impart that -1 to hit on them. Eureka, the players are at full volume right now. They're just being relatively quiet.
Okay.
I only got 2 guys that can attack, or 3 guys that I can attack. So we will do.
It looks like they were turned down in my
they
streaming
get
software. I
1
apologize,
attack.
chat. It should be better now.
Strength +1, and then they get the dog attacks. Okay. So they're like wolves. They get 2 sets of attacks. So we got 3 attacks with the saber. They all miss. And then I got 6 attacks with the dogs. Two wounds, no AP.
1 pass.
Alright. Now I'll consolidate.
Actually, you have to move to the closest. So it has to. I believe one of those two is the closest, if I'm correct.
Yeah, you're correct. But I can rotate my butt.
Yeah.
I just need to end 1.3 closer to this guy.
Yeah, Eric Guerra in the chat, the the Death Jester with the Chegarak's Laugh, right? Or Chegarak's Lament, is that it? Or Lantern, or whatever it is. The relic Death Jester gun alongside the trait to
You
triple
have to
hits.
come on like
No, that was
Could
I was
be
closest to this one. Here.
absolutely brutal.
Okay, but still, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm within an inch of this. And this guy is based. That guy's. You can start getting ready to roll if you want.
So first cannon. Roll. So from the first cannon, 2 wounds. From the second one, 2 wounds.
Probably an underrated part of the Master Crafter's ability is the ability to turn in these random little
From the cannon, 4, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 vehicles, correct?
little support.
Yep. Well, here I'll roll
units
those.
into melee
so
powerhouses.
how many wounds do I got from the cannon?
Because they
Or
split
from the
attacks
cannons.
so efficiently, they get maximum rerolls out of that.
So I take 1 wound.
I do think, Eric Guerra,
So from
certainly
the first cannon,
both Raider
1.
units need to die this coming turn. I don't think Drill can
From the
afford
second cannon,
to allow
1
Orteal
again.
to start scoring behind enemy lines with that purple
Oh, before I
unit.
take this, let me make sure that you agree. Touch it. This guy.
Yeah, you can
Alpha.
touch all.
No,
Yeah.
no. Let's slow down. The Alpha has both these baits, the Falcon and the Fire Prism. Agreed. This guy here, the Alpha. Before I take wounds off this guy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Luke McCarthy, sickened by the efficiency of Master
So 3
Artisans on
wounds from the
Eradicators.
vehicles.
I'm actually not sure that that's how that works. Master Artisans triggers every time you're chosen to fire, and
Yeah.
the Eradicators just resolve their attacks
another
like 2
one
times
used.
in a row. They don't, as far as I know, they don't go
right.
through the chosen to fire step again.
Okay, and that's your turn. Yes.
But that's something that may require an
that is
FAQ.
my-
I think that's the only unit that can
So
that
not
uses
behind
master
enemy
crafts
lines,
or
but-
master artisans that has that sort of wording. I guess aggressors do as
I
well.
believe it has to be all your units. So
yeah, it has to be all. I was looking over here.
Haunter, Admech with no planes.
so
This guy
remember
wants a
that?
fair game. Yeah.
So I do get a
It
big
is
game.
it is
purple.
interesting to see Admech with no planes.
I
This
do
is a cool
bonus.
Admech list. I'm not gonna lie. I think these Cerberus Raiders are a very interesting pick, and give it a lot more flexibility than I was sort of originally anticipating. They look good as a screen, but using them offensively like this to score points on the other side of the table is exactly is the kind of game I think that's very interesting.
So now all your guys they can't fall back and shoot that I just tagged, correct?
the tanks, yes, because they have fly. The cannons, no.
Oh shoot, I didn't know that.
Maybe Orteal getting some 9th edition rules bleeding over into his his 8th edition game here. Haunter, been playing on our 9th edition maps. You like them? Nice. Appreciate it, man. There's definitely, I think, a little bit of a learning curve to making 9th edition maps, and we definitely have, or I have ways to go before they're optimized and the most fun that they can be, but I think they came out, they look nice anyway. I think the Tyranid map is the one I'm most proud of. The Forest map maybe is a little bit too much, and they could use some toning down. Sam Kenny, how did the Raiders get across the table turn 1? Yeah, they have a pre-game movement. They just can't end within 9 inches of enemy models. And they are able to advance. So they both moved about, I think one of them moved 17, the other one moved 16 across the table, and then took their turn 1 move to just move and charge. So one unit started in this ruin, made a pre-game move to here, and then moved. It did a pretty good work. It killed 2 Shining Spears, and it finished off a tank here, and then charged in to touch all these tanks. And engage a couple support weapons platforms to stop them from shooting. This unit just moved directly onto Objective 2 to grab a bonus point for Orteal. Although I do think, yeah, here comes the Shining Spears. I do think we see both of these units killed immediately. This is aggressive placement of this Night Spinner. Typically, Drill wants to play his Night Spinners
So
sort of close to his
at the
chest,
moment,
but maybe...
if you use your stratagem, you cannot go away if I charge you with the bikes, correct? You can practically go just here. This
Yeah,
space.
yeah, I can just move and I don't have fly, so I can't go through anything.
So I'm interested in the placement of that Night Spinner. I think it seems very aggressive to me, but we'll see how it goes. It might just be that Drill is valuing his Fire Prisms more highly because they're going to be his armor punching units in this game. Although I do think that Strength 7, even with no AP, one thing that Admech doesn't have is extremely high armor saves. And once they rend, they'll punch through any armor save
One
that
question,
these guys
those
have
two
anyway.
cannons here in the back can see your vehicle here in the middle.
Yeah, almost all this stuff is off the ground. So that
I'll
should
let
be pretty
Trevi
easy.
call it. I'm not as good with the line of sight.
Let me get in there. Yeah, I think so for sure. Almost none of those, the Aeldari stuff in the way should block line of sight because it's all hovering.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
A benefit and potentially a drawback of playing those hover tanks is that they are about 1.5 inches off the ground, so you can draw line of sight underneath them real easy using true line of sight, especially if you're shorter than they are. Sam Canny getting Raven Guard Assault sent PTSD flashbacks. Well, fortunately, Raven Guard Assault Centurions are hit a little bit harder than, but what are they? Strength 4 with 1 AP, with 1 attack apiece. I think the
Okay,
Assault
that's my
Centurions
movement.
deal a
I will
little
start
bit
my
more
psychic
damage.
phase. I will spend my first command point to make my Farseer my Warlock +1 to cast. First spell, I will cast Fortune on my bike, so 5 up Philopane.
Darkified, did I get my
I
box
pass it,
today?
I will cast
No,
now
I don't think I'm
protection,
going to
so
be
plus
ordering
one
an
to their
Indominus
save,
box.
which I pass. I will cast with my spirits here.
Hope everybody in chat who
Smite.
wanted one got one, though, before they sold out in 15
Yeah,
minutes.
and it passed. So D3 mortal wounds. Just one mortal wound on your dogs.
Question, I just realized I should be on 13 CP, not 12. But I didn't spend any CP last round, did I?
I believe no.
Yeah, no. Okay. I didn't reroll anything, I know. I didn't even try. Start with
And-
15, 2 for World.
And last, I will cast Doom on the green dogs. Okay. Which I pass. So now I will start my shooting phase. I will do all my bikes on your dogs. So they are 7 spear. And I reroll everything because of Doom. So this is 6 wounds minus 4 to damage each.
So they go straight through.
Correct. Yeah. They don't have any invulnerable save.
Oh, yeah, they do. That's right. They got my 6 up Bionic. Doesn't matter. So every 2 kills a dog, so that's 3 dogs.
Yeah. And they are 7. And the shuriken from the bikes. And I reroll everything again because of Doom. So you have 2 minus 3. And the others are AP0.
So that's 8. Yeah, so they're dead. That picks up.
So that's all of them, correct?
Yep, that's all of them.
Luke McCarthy says, it was a FAQ that Space Marines get double artisan on
Okay, so I will
double
start with the
shooting.
cannons now.
That's super
From
gross.
the backs from the one that back here that we said we asked for the
Yep, I'm
line
with
of
you.
sight. Yeah, on the tank.
I think Salamanders in 9th edition are probably going to be a problem.
So
They're
D3 shots.
already extremely hard to kill, and Eradicator is probably one of the most efficient units of the game with them already.
And
But
toughness
being
6,
able to
correct?
double artisan off their double
Yeah,
tap is
So
cool.
wounding on 3s. 1 minus 1 to damage.
All right, takes it.
Okay, second one. And now wounding on 2s because it's the second one. 2 minus 2 to damage.
So 1
Just
takes
one.
1.
So third one. So 1 minus 3 to damage.
Takes it.
I have done 3. I have 3 more because 3 have all fall back. So I will continue to the tank. So 1 minus 3 to damage.
Goes through.
Okay, so next cannon. Again, 1 minus 3 to damage.
You were seeing the power of this
And the last cannon.
of the Aeldar shooting phase here. Obviously, all of the Cerberus Raiders killed by the small arms fire.
Again,
And then
1
everything
minus
else going
3
into the
to
Dune
damage.
Rider. Drill, I think, appropriately worried about the Electro
And
Priests.
that's all my cannons.
I would like to see him deal with this other Cerberus Raider unit, but he may just... we may see the Fire Prism go into them. But I think that killing these Electro Priests is a big deal. Because as soon as they get to that 2+ vulnerable save, they become extremely problematic.
And I've got a 0 CP strategy where I can deploy the guys and not have to roll for their...
0? Okay.
Yep.
Luke McCarthy, one thing that I found out recently is you have to choose between long-range flamers and ignoring APs until you lose Super Doctrine if you have successors in first founding.
3 Night Spinners, a Viper,
yeah, that sounds right.
and my characters, which I believe they don't have range for anything.
Okay, I'm gonna stick them back here. Oh yeah, they're all gonna fit.
Oh, gross. Looks like we can actually put those Electro Priests inside the building after the vehicle gets taken out. Still open to getting hit with those Night Spinners, but certainly probably not going to get totally wiped.
Okay, everything. Yeah, perfect. Okay, I continue. So I will do this Falcon here on the horses. He moves on 4, so I start with the first, which is strength 8. So 1 minus 3, 3 damage.
Alright, the kill.
Okay, and the strength 6 weapons. Again, 1 minus 3, D3 damage.
Alright, got another.
Yes, 3 damage.
Yeah, you got it. I got it down.
Do the other Falcons in that target. Again, starting with the strength 8. Two wounds minus 3 to damage.
Let's go through. So that's 2.
Okay, and the strength 6.
So we're starting to pick up that purple unit of Cerberus Raiders.
Minus 3, D3 damage.
All
right. One time. So the first one, 1 dies. The second one, 1 wound.
All right. Oh, whoops, that guy's still alive, sorry. 1 wound. There you go. Killed 4 so far.
I will start with this. I will do this Night Spinner here that didn't move on the electrolytes that just came out.
Okay.
2d6.
I think Trill just called the Electro Priest electrolytes, which I super appreciate. That's what I'm going to call them in the future. That's adorable. But certainly
So
saving the Night
7,
Spinners for that target makes a lot of
0,
sense to me.
the 6 AP4 actually, but doesn't matter. 2 damage each.
As much as I think he needs to kill those purple Cerberus Raiders to stop Ordeal from getting the
Save one.
easy secondary scores,
Roll of them, and
bonus
then
points.
every success you can reroll. Yeah.
I don't think that he can allow any one of those Electro Priest units to get into his lines, because that can spell
Save no.
doom pretty quickly
So
to
that
his
is
army.
6 dead.
Although, interestingly, he's not positioned very near any objectives. So if the Electro Priests, even if they do get an acquisition at any cost, maybe off of the Night Spinner there, although with 6 dead, I don't think that they will. They would quickly lose it as they started moving into Drill's
Second
army.
Night Spinner that fall back here, this one, will do in the other squad of Electrolytes, Electro Priests.
All right.
Electrolytes. That's what I'm calling them from now on, chat. Can we... Deuce 83 in the chat, Electrolytes, it's what machines crave. Luke McCarthy says, unlike Electrolytes, these guys are not good for you. Start a petition. I think that's their official nickname on T5S2 now, from now on.
3 of
We'll start giving docking people sportsmanship scores if they do not call
I will
Electro
do
Priest
this
by their
Night
proper
Spinner in
name,
the back, in the horses.
which is, of course, Electrolytes.
I will use the first profile, which is D6 odds, strength 6, -3, 1 damage.
So losing the...
He moved half his distance, so he will fire twice.
Yeah, using the big blast gun off of the fire prisms now, rather than the D3 shot, but winning on 2s either way, so probably makes a lot of sense.
So your 6s?
Look, that is true. I am king here.
So it's
This is
1
my
damage
tiny
each.
kingdom.
So 7.
I have decreed it, and thus it is so. They are now full grade Electrolytes.
5.
Yeah.
So I think actually more damage than I anticipated coming out of this Eldari
And took
list.
the 2. All right.
The other prison next to it will attack the horses again. Same
Looks like we
profile. He will use the
may-
same profile.
Be able to take out the Cerberus Raiders, both Cerberus Raider units, as well as the Dune Rider in the center. That's a big blow to Orteal.
6
See if
wounds.
he's able to fight back through it.
No AP or AP or
AP -3.
so save 1.
Do see through the T5S2 secret police will come flip your table if you verbiage is off.
There you go.
The fire prism here that move will attack him. Again, same profile.
Yeah, Mete, I'm with you, man. I had 2 games against Drill on AOWPI, and in both games he absolutely stomped me. It was not close. Actually, that's not true. One of the games was actually very close, but I played a game with Gene Stealer Cult to him, and I went second. I lost a bunch of stuff turn 1, and then my stuff came in turn 2 and didn't do anything in that.
Just enough.
Just enough.
First
to die.
and last game of Gene Stealer Cult for me, I think.
Got him.
I will do my last Night Spinner here on the squad behind the wall.
Oh, I lost track of what you shot. You're good, man. I thought they were done.
I have the 1 Light Spinner, 1 Viper, and I'm done. Uh, 7 wounds.
Wait, how many wounds?
5. Sorry, 5.
And what's the AP on this?
The 6 is AP4, but it doesn't matter. You are only vulnerable 5, correct?
Oh, you're on the Electro Priest. Yeah.
Austin Powers, no chaos representation.
All right. So that's how many damage?
I don't know if chaos
2
needs any
damages.
more representation in T5S2, to be honest. If you look at the finals of almost any other pod, there's chaos represented. So don't worry, buddy. I think chaos has got your back. And I also think in 9th edition we may see chaos do just as well as they are
I have
in
the
8th.
Viper here that,
They're
if
probably
I'm
also
correct, you can
well-suited
only
to-
see the Alpha here.
Sort of take some
So he will fire their frag grenade.
take the center of the table
a
with
frag
some really
missile
dominating
launcher,
units
actually.
and play that primary
So
objective
D6
really well.
shots. Hitting on force because he moved. So 2 wounds minus 1. 1 damage each.
That kills.
Oh, yeah, that's it for my shooting. I will declare a charge of my Night Spinner here in the Electro Priest.
Okay.
I need a high number. That's not it, so that's my turn. Do
Try
your
to charge on the
morals.
Electro Priest just to stop it from moving
Alright.
forward back onto the objective, maybe.
So I
But I
got
think
2,
they could consolidate
So that
into
means
it.
I lost 8. I think I saved 1 on a 1. 3. So 3 plus 8, 11. So yeah, they're going. And then these 4. That's not.
Gokhan. Yep, this is a 8th ed game. This is the finals of a T5S2 event, so it's we're playing 8th
Yeah, they're
ed
supposed to be gone.
until the
Okay, so
the pods in 8th ed are going
I
until the
don't hold.
26th.
I have 3 mark of death.
basically
One
the official
begin
release of
hunter. I killed more. You hold more because I don't hold, of course. And yeah, that's my turn. You can start.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Let me change the timer.
All right.
Yeah, Austin Powers Death Guard in 9th edition seems insane. I think maybe one of the best lists in the game. Potentially, how the new missions turn out. They're such resilience that they can really dominate the middle. I think Emperor's Children, probably another kind of a sleeper hit coming out of Chaos as well, because they are because I think it's specifically Noise Marines. Honestly, I think if Noise Marines can sit on a couple objectives in the middle, they can trade up so hard that your opponent has a tough time sort of dealing with them. Eric Garrett, do I understand?
Now, with
fight
your strat
first
on
yet?
the fire prism,
Sorry, what?
the strat on the
I
fire
would-
prisms that lets them all shoot if one can see,
I would hope so.
do they still have to be in range?
Oh no, only one has to be in range. So it's like they have to be in range of the one that can see. So they have to be 60 from the one that can see and have line of sight of that one.
Gotcha.
So practically, those two can fire from him if they're 60 from him and they can see him.
How fight first interacts with the new fight order? Yeah, so it will if you fight first, then enemies in your turn you'll get to fight before enemies in your own turn, which is a big deal. And then you also fight simultaneously with chargers as well, so your opponent gets to hit you one time. But if you're bringing,
And all my vehicles
if you
go
have
60.
Death Guard in that list, you
16,
can
sorry,
bring
16.
the little fight last guy, and then Emperor's Children go absolutely.
Oh,
crazy.
even those? What do they get the extra movement from?
No, that's Elder. It's 16 on my vehicles.
Oh,
They go 16. If they are in the second tire, they go 12 and then 8.
Luke McCarthy. We should do a pod where the first 2 rounds are 8th edition, the last 2 are
So
9th.
practically
Yeah, that's not
impossible
confusing.
to outrange me if I move full.
yeah.
Chaosists are starting the game 4 to 5 CP. Whoa! Yeah, I don't know if I would go into more than 2 detachments, to be honest. I think the old triple battalion build for Chaos, where you have like 3 different legions or 3 different Chaos codexes, that might be dead just because of the CP cost. But I think it's fine. I think you can play with only 2 of those modules, and you just have to have sort of a subpar version of another one.
We're gonna advance this group damage group.
Yeah, Dan Paolini in chat also pointing out patrol detachments probably a good way to bring in those soup as well. But I think starting in the games that I've played so far, and to be fair, I haven't played Chaos. Starting with 9 CP seems like a pretty good approximation of a double battalion from 8th Ed. And has been fine for me. 9 CP plus the 1 every turn has been pretty good. So that was a lot of damage coming out of Drill that past turn, but he didn't kill the real damage dealers on Orteal's side of the table, which is obviously the Disintegrators and the Ballastarii. I can't imagine that Orteal didn't expect to lose those units instantaneously as soon as they dropped down. It'll be interesting to see if he elects to drop his Petraxii in this turn, or Terraxii in this turn, excuse me. You could drop them either on Objective 2 to get a second bonus point, or you could drop them into the cover there and hope that they don't get killed by Night Spinners. David Gaylord, thoughts on this Admech list versus traditional Breacher gun lines? I think this one... I like this one better just from a gameplay standpoint. I think it's more interesting, and I think it has more options than just the normal kind of point-and-click adventure game. I think because it has so much forward momentum, it has the ability to fight around these terrain pieces, whereas a lot of times in the standard Admech list, as soon as something's able to hide from you, you have a tough time dealing with it. That said, it does seem like it lacks a little bit of resilience, and I don't know what I would put in there to supplement that. I like the inclusion of these Ballastarii. We'll see how well they do. I think they can potentially be a little bit squishy. We talked about before, they have a lot of wounds. It's a 30 wound unit, but they sort of quote unquote degrade very quickly because as soon as you start killing them, you lose the shots back. And only toughness 6 with a 4+ save I think is too easy to kill. So maybe you just drop those for something like Breachers. But keep units like the Cerberus in. And then maybe try to get more Dune Riders. I do think that this list sacrifices a lot trying to squeeze into a brigade, and I don't know if it needs to do that. Do I think Craft Worlds is a tough matchup for Admech in general? Or for this list specifically? I do think that this list, because it has so many points in those Raiders, and the Raiders aren't great at touching these vehicles, I do think that this isn't the greatest matchup for it. It certainly has legs because of the Scorpii. The Scorpii are obviously extremely durable, or extremely efficient at killing, and as we saw, not even a full unit of the Ballastarii were able to almost entirely kill a tank. But it does lack a little bit of the punching power that we normally see in Admech. I also think that Orteil's deployment may have been conservative. I think he assumed that Drill would play for Objective 2, but Drill, I think, absolutely making the correct play here and refused flanking and deploying over on this side to make these units less effective. And I think Orteil may have been better suited, because he can move and shoot without penalty, just placing all of the Scorpii here. And then even regardless of where Drill deploys, he's able to get the full force of his firepower onto him, because he knows he's going first.
I'm just thinking about auras for my movement, then I'll be ready.
And that's gonna just deal.
Sorry, come again?
I'm just thinking about auras for my movement. Make sure I.
His first
Once again, do you have to roll your canticle?
Oh yes, thank you. So a 2 and a 5. So we'll put that back on the Mars. And reroll 1s in the shooting phase.
He does have. There's a unit of Tyraxii in reserve that Orteil can drop down, and I imagine, honestly, I think they just drop here because potentially, if he places well, he could make this charge from the quickened Shining Spear unit a little bit difficult, and he can spin force all the Night Spinners to engage them instead of shooting whatever they want, which is probably these guys. I think Night Spinners are going to start really. They match up really well against the Ballistarius profile. So I think the Tyraxii may drop in this turn.
Move. So I get +1.
And you can use that to score 1 to 2 points behind enemy lines. But not being able to score it on turn 1 was a big misplay. I think more importantly, though, I think that ground control was a bigger mispick for Orteil. Because he's going first, Drill obviously has the resilience to have units left at the end of the game. And in addition, it has the ability to knock him off of objectives on the bottom of turn 6. The walkers are one big unit. I'm like I was mentioning before. I like the inclusion.
Yeah, we're gonna advance the walker.
I like the inclusion of the Ballistarius, but I think that relying on them to deal so much of your damage is probably too optimistic.
Let me see.
Because
Sorry,
toughness 6 is just not
you
good
advanced.
Going. Yeah, that's 10 inches, so that's their move. I was seeing where I could get line of sight to decide if I needed it.
Yeah, it's a cool include, I think, chat, for sure.
At the moment, they will fire only 28, sorry. Correct?
48, yeah.
48, yeah.
I think it's classy more than anything, but I do think that breachers or a more resilient option would be better. Maybe airplanes, but I don't know. Yeah, he has to. Orteil has to choose between grabbing the behind enemy lines or giving up the Tyraxii unit. Or grabbing the bonus point, or giving up the Tyraxii unit, because the Tyraxii unit could jump in on the objective. They could put one dude right on this objective and then chain back into here to grab behind enemy lines and get the bonus point.
Just get this going.
But
so here's the
in doing
advance
so,
roll
you
for
open
one
up
dice,
at least one of those
here's the
guys to
advance
get
roll
nuked
for
by
the other
something.
So there's
You probably
7.
pull the first one off the objective that dies, but that's more damage, and I think that could lead to you getting killed by the Night Spinners.
They move 10, correct? And you
Yeah,
went 12 or 10.
Yeah, but I'm using a stratagem that lets me advance with 2d6.
Okay. But
So I can move
you move
7.
you move them 10 or 12 because I thought
10. I moved them 10. 10. Here you go. This guy basically right up here.
Yeah. Move you.
Yeah.
No problem.
Clark, if I pro tip, don't play your semifinal matches at 4 a.m. It's a pretty pro tip. That's a good call, Clark.
So now these guys have 10 plus 7, so 17. Well, actually, I get 1 to advance and move roll 2 from the manipulus, so I can move another in.
Okay. So at the end, they will. I believe you will pay also the stratagem to have +2 to.
Correct. Yeah, I'll adjust my CP all at once.
Looks
So
like
they
we're
will fire on 3s, rerolling 1s, correct?
Yep, unless I get call in range.
So we're gonna be just dumping CP onto these guys. Looks like we were able to call into Litany of the Electromancer. Obviously, has been replaced with the new +1 Strength Canticle for Adeptus Mechanicus, for Martian specifically. And then we also have reroll 1s for Benediction of the Omnissiah, but we do have Call in the back there. He's going to be probably buffing those guys up.
Alright. We actually need to move these guys. Give room for call. And these guys. Actually, these guys.
I think one thing that it's probably
All right,
important to
we're gonna
remember
advance
for
call.
Adeptus Mechanicus is that also a lot of their weaknesses have kind of been removed,
Or I need to
especially
move these first.
between Engine War and 9th Edition. In the past, the Admech you could mitigate pretty easily with melee. They basically only had Electro Priests or the Taser Goad guys to fight back. And a lot of times, if you could shoot those down, you can engage the whole army without really any repercussions. But now, everything will just shoot you if you engage it. And in addition, they have the fall back and shoot auras available to them. So
We'll advance these server.
not only I think are Admech, do they just have the
5, so they
faction
moved.
abilities that are sort of the faction identity that's going to be good in 9th edition, but I also think that a lot of their weaknesses have been shored up. So I think Admech is going to be a big player come the 9th edition release.
Alright, so now we'll advance. He can agree with me, he can squeeze through there. He only gets 1.
Yeah, Luke McCarthy, that's a good point as well. The Cerberus Raiders obviously make an extremely good melee screen because they can just pull back as soon as you declare a charge on them with the TCP strap.
And they're at 9. Alright, cool. So they got the reroll. These guys are gonna move.
Is Call a monster? He's got to be, right? Oh, he's infantry. Whoa! Holy crap. It's like, how is that big guy getting through that little ruin? He's like, I got enough legs for that, buddy. I can climb over. It's okay.
So question on your
call is infantry.
fire prism strat. Can the other ones just shoot the one that the guy shot, or can he shoot anything they can see?
No, they all have to fire in the same target.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, Austin Powers. We were talking about that before for sure. I think the gangbusters was a little bit of a mispick. He did pick marked for death on both those units. And so it's going to be basically the same. The only unit that he hasn't killed that he's marked is the Tyraxii. I think that it might have been a bit of a meta pick because you want to dissuade your opponent from engaging so hard with the Cerberus and be able to punish them for that. Obviously, you can score the gangbusters out more easily to do that, but you also get to pick the Tyraxii and the Electro Priests as those marked for death targets as well. Yeah, Taylor. Confused Gaskell noises. Right? There's so many things in the game that like Gilliman's like sitting there just folding his arms and shaking his head. Like, how come this guy gets to be infantry? You can't. No, we're talking about gangbusters in reference to the Cerberus Raiders. You can't score gangbusters off of the walkers. Do I think Big Game Hunter and Mark for Death is better against the Admech list? No, I think Gangbuster. I think Big Game Hunter Gangbuster is better. The Cerberus Raiders are so easy to kill, and your opponent. I mean, in order to do anything, they have to engage. The Gangbuster is kind of a no-brainer, whereas the Marked for Death is I think sometimes can be punished. If you go with the Marked for Death and your opponent just, hides the things that the other things you've picked, you may lose 2 points on that.
Now we'll advance the nip. Oh, so he gets +1 to advance and movement, so 2 +1, 6, 7, 9.
Nine or 8?
He gets a +1 to move rolls and advance rolls.
Okay.
Eric Guerra, I feel like these moves should happen turn 1. I agree.
What does he give?
Exploding 6s.
To be honest, yeah, David Gaylord, I agree with that statement too. I think, like I was saying before, the Scorpii could literally just have deployed on the line, and you still have the opportunity to move them out of line of sight.
So it's for the model, not for the unit. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, it's model. Deployment. That's why I needed to get him up.
But as soon as you can just drop everything into range and hit him with everything, and then engage him with Cerberus.
So the only people that have 6s is this tank and one of the chicken.
You have the opportunity to deal such a devastating alpha strike, and your opponent has to deal with the stuff immediately in their face right then and there. That I think you get 1 to 2 turns of use out of those Scorpii without them being shot at all.
I think we're going to bring the Prax.
And at that point, I think it's also it's unlikely that the Eldar list swings back and kills them all in one go. I mean, they'll certainly kill one at a time for sure, but after you get full rounds of attacking with them, not to mention these Ballistarius, then I think it immediately goes downhill for the Eldar. I think the Ballistarius honestly could have deployed in the center, and then there's no real way, because they can move out this way and get lines of sight. You can draw lines of fire to everywhere on the table with them, and that unit is such a big deal that I think it's
you have to put
forcing your opponent to make the choice between attacking them and getting your models
the
off
objective,
of
you're it's perfect. Yeah.
The bonus point objective, I think, is exactly where you want to be with this in this matchup, and Arteal just didn't do that, and I think that may bite him in the butt. I don't think he did enough damage last turn. Eric, he did get the new Mars
Okay.
Canticle, so
Alright,
he's
I think
replaced his
everything's moving now. Let's start
Litany of the
shooting.
Electromancer.
A reminder, my bikes at the moment, they have +1 to their saves and 5 up Philopane. Okay? So they are 2 up save, 3 up invulnerable save, 5 up Philopane.
Oh, okay.
And then he also has his reroll ones to
So
hit.
you know
Gotcha.
before declare them, I'm informing you.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah, +1 strength is big. It gets these guys with their +1 to wound stratagem down to wounding on 2s, which means that you can almost kill two vehicles in one go.
Oh, I need to spend the CP on these guys. So, I need to look. Is that 1 or 2 CP, the advanced, 2d6 advanced, 1 sec.
Yeah, fortunately, Orteal was lucky last turn. He got 2 with the Cerberus Raiders. So they're already a little bit degraded, those Shining Spears. But he needs to deal a little bit more damage to them in order to kind of dissuade them from coming in. You have to get to the point where Call can kind of pick them up as soon as they get anywhere. And that's going to be a little tough.
Sorry, it's taking a second to pull up. Can't remember if it's 1 or 2 CP.
Do you want me to search it?
Oh yeah, if you want. I can't remember the name of it. I've got the codex loading here.
I'm in Wikipedia. So you are looking for the double advance, correct?
Yeah, on the Iron Strike.
It's 1. It's
one,
called
it's one.
Dune Strides. Dune
Dune
Strider.
Strider. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's +1.
So
yeah.
I'll take the 1 off for that. All right.
And the one that you get +2 to shoot.
Yeah, I know all those. Those I use all the time.
Which one of those two has the? No, nothing. You
Yeah, these don't have. They just have the rerolls from call. Yeah. So we're gonna start. So these two are gonna do this. Further Scorpius back here is putting everything into that night spin. So the ignore line of sight profile first. So that is 8 shot. Reroll on for call. No explosions because I'm out of range. Your toughness 7 on that thing.
correct. Yeah.
Yep. So 4.
Yeah, because everybody you're +1 strength, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And it's -1 to damage.
Yep.
1 pass.
So that's 2 damage. All right, D6 shot. So 5. Reroll for call.
I think this target priority here may be a little
This is
awkward
strength 8, so
for
one-
Orteal. Depending on ranges, I feel like the indirect fire shots want to go
Just
into
one.
stuff that the
-1.
Bellastarii I don't have
minus
quite
2 on
the
this one.
same
Pass.
line of sight into.
So D3 damage, 3 damage.
But shooting
Okay.
shooting
All right.
indirect into the Night Spinner in that's you can already see seems a little bit wasteful.
Roll for call. Just 2 wounds.
Drill has played well to deny Orteal any
Yeah. So
kills
I'm
on
going down
the
to
fire
5.
prisms, which is going to be brutal. So I think Orteal needs to kill. It's like basically the Night Spinners this turn in order to really stand a chance of being able to live through the swing back.
All right, the next one, the indirect fire, is going to shoot the Viper. And everything else is going into the Night Spinner. So we'll do indirect fire first. 5 shots. Reroll for call. A mini wound. AP minus one. Yep.
So 4 ups. So
Wow. 2 damage. All right. So now we'll do the D6 into the Night Spinner. And 1, of course. Reroll for call. It hits. Does not 1. That's great. Reroll. That many wounds. We'll shoot this squad here into the Night Spinner.
Apologies, everyone. A bit of an audio issue momentarily. I'd also be targeting the spinners, I think, because they represent such a threat to the Iron Striders as well.
All right, we will shoot the neck. Disintegrate. Tension's back tail should be able to see that Night Spinner barrel. And
yeah, are you sure?
when I dropped him, that's where. Let me come from. Yeah, I think I can see. If I come from your model, be off the tail.
This is from. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. That was the intention anyway. I dropped him just so he would be as out of line of sight as he could from the other side. All right. So indirects. That's going. Indirect will go into that Viper. We'll do the indirect first. Now these do have exploding 6s.
Directing the Viper, everything else on the Night Spinner, yes?
Yep.
Okay.
So what's the number of shots? Gosh darn it. One of those is a 1.
Yeah, okay.
Reroll for call. Wow.
Yeah, do you think the tax on the for the brigade is pretty steep for this list?
And there's a
It does seem like
Saved everything.
if you're already bringing the Iron Striders, the
All right. Indirect into the night. I mean,
It's
direct
not
into the
that
night
bad.
spinner, so D6 shot.
Especially with access to servers,
Two.
we got to fill out the heavy support, but
That 6 explodes.
or to fill out the elites, excuse me. But I do think that it's maybe a little bit inefficient because it's trying to fit into
And
that
2 wound.
battalion confirmation
AP -2.
or the brigade
one
confirmation.
pass, one
whereas it could,
saved.
It could run
D3
into swamp a
3
couple
damage.
things and fit into like a double
Explosion.
battalion spearhead or something.
No.
All right.
Well, one night spinner down. These Ballastarii really need to get working though.
And you just have the chickens, yes?
I have the chickens and I have my sniper.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it looks like they only have the one in range, so we'll probably see them kill the Night Spinner and the Viper this turn. Although there may be a case to be made to just dump shots into the Shining Spears and try to force failed saves. Although the 5+ DPR on them may keep them alive a lot longer than Orteal.
Shining Spears can move 16, then you can move them again another 16, right?
52, it's their movement if they double move. And then 2d6 charge.
David, are the infantry within 12 inches of the Shining Spears? I doubt it. These guys, you mean? That looks like 18 to me.
All right. Spear.
Okay, so 12 and 8.
Do
Okay,
apologize,
go.
everyone. My audio
All right, I
keeps
need to
cutting
spend
out.
my stuff. So I got to spend 1 for +2 to hit. And I'm going to spend 1 for +1 to wound. And then I'm going to spend 2 for the Mars. So I'm back to hitting on 3s. And 5s and 6s are due more.
David, no, unfortunately, I think all of the electrolytes
right.
got neutered.
5 or 6 is why.
Because I'm +1 to wound. So 6s do mortals from the Mars. And then +1 to wound makes it 5.
Could you not have deep struck the Tyraxii on the bottom?
All right, reroll.
Charge the Night Spinner. Do you mean this Falcon here?
Oh, I should have had exploding 6s. We'll just say, since I already rolled 12, we'll just say this one that has exploding 6s will go into the Shining Spear. That way.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't think that there's an opportunity for a wrap there, but I think either way, they just get picked up by the Shining Spears in melee, and it's kind of a non-issue.
And
right where he's standing right here, it's going to get him a bonus
So 2
point as
mortals.
well as behind enemy line, so that's worth
2 mortals,
2
it's
points
they are
right there.
extra, correct?
Yep.
This is -1.
Yep.
So I 6 wounds. 6 wounds plus 2
Then the 2 into the Shining Spear.
No, you have to do it.
Oh,
separately.
Yep. You're right. All right, we'll do the exploding one first. And there's toughness, so 2s. Oh,
Yeah.
on that other one. That other one, I should have been wounded on 2s too, because +1 to wound.
You want me to roll one more save?
I was just looking to see what it was. Go ahead and roll the saves on that one. I rolled the last 5. I'll look.
Okay.
Yeah, I only rolled 1.
Okay, so this is for the Shining Spears. 1 didn't pass. I have 5 up Philopane, which doesn't save. So one model dies, and then one more for my Night Spinner, which I don't say.
And then there was a 5 on that wound roll too, so it takes a mortal on a Shining Spirit, right?
Okay, yeah, let me roll for the Feel No Pain. No, one more.
Okay. And then you sure about that? I thought the mortals were applied after the hit roll. I trust you. If you're good, I trust you. Just do it the way Trevi said. Somebody told me that they applied the other way. The mortals got applied at the end. Okay, fair enough. All right, so here's the next one. There you go, 2.
Both saved.
All right. And that is it, except for the we'll put the snipers into the Viper. I'll just roll them at once if you, or I guess I'll roll them in case I.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
All right, the first one misses. Second one hits. Wounds plus a mortal.
Minus.
-2, I believe.
Plus.
So that's D3 damage. So that's 3 damage. You took 1 from the mortal and 2 from the.
One wound left, and do the last sniper.
It hits. Doesn't wound. Wow. Do CP that wound. Yeah, I want to spend a CP to reach.
Yeah.
All right, so I just took a CP off. And it does. Well, what's his tough?
Tough. So no.
Nope, no, it doesn't. Okay.
That's your shooting, yes?
Yep, that is it. I'm not gonna do any charges, so that's to you. Morale. Do you have any on the spears? I guess I don't know how many.
Only one bike. Their leadership 8.
Okay.
So you healed, you hold, you have the bonus. You killed one vehicle. You had. Do you have behind the enemy line?
Yeah, these guys are all in there.
At least that was your intention, yes, to put them all in behind the enemy line.
Yeah, if you're in the gray, you're behind enemy line.
Okay, perfect. So I start my turn. Okay, so I will I put it here.
Yeah, chat, I don't think that was enough damage from Orteal this turn, unfortunately. I think he needed probably 2 to 3 vehicles dead this turn, and only killing 1 is certainly not going to do it for him. I think that the defensive deployment of the Admech vehicles last turn probably didn't help Orteal at all, because he did lose out on that direct fire shots from those Scorpius on the previous turn, and he lost out on some range, I think, that He was missing shots into the back line here because the downside of the disintegrators is that they are relatively short range. And then unfortunately not killing that Viper is pretty annoying as well. That gives Driel another unit that can just go grab objectives. But one thing that you have to keep in mind in this Aeldari list is that if you're not able to deal with the vibro cannons, then it is just a constant damage output that they're able to make throughout the game. Unfortunately, 2 vehicles down to 1 wound on Orteel's for Driel from Orteel's shooting phase there, and that is going to be problematic. Looks like Eldar is probably poised to win out the battle of efficiency here that we're seeing. But I do think that Driel's conservative deployment was actually was an extremely good play. I think that's a mark of a very competent player and somebody who really can analyze the flow of the game. And it's a hard ask to entirely give up an objective, right? Driel didn't score anything. He didn't score any hold on round 1.
These markers for every cannon that moved, okay?
Which is effectively, it's almost suicide in ITC missions, right? Yeah, a lot of players, as soon as they don't score objectives, they get a little upset and they get a little worried that they're not going to be able to keep up with their opponent. And Orteil certainly is going to have a dominating lead in the first couple turns of the game. We see them already up 4 points. But Driel is going to be able to claw that back. He has kill more. And he's probably going to be able to start pulling for hold more on subsequent turns, as well as bring in his secondary objectives. Something that Orteil can't really do because all of his secondary objectives are maneuver based, and he is going to have 4 points bound up in ground control that I'm not sure he's going to score more than 1 on at this point. So it is going to look relatively close for the next 2 rounds or so as Driel starts to pull back the flow, the game, but I think his conservative deployment, in conjunction with the speed of the Aeldari armor, I think is about to pull out the game for him. Yeah, should get hold more. He probably kills 1 Taraxii with something random, and then the Night Spinners just have to go into them, and then he's going to be able to clear objective 1, so he'll hold objective 1 and 2 at the end of this round. Probably get kill more because he only lost 1 thing that turn. Yeah, and then it's going to be brutal on these Iron Striders. Unfortunately, they that 4+ save, toughness 6 is not going to do them any favors. Fortunately, the Night Spinners have to go elsewhere, but all these Vibro Cannons and all these Fire Prisms going into them is going to be brutal. I think a lot of firepower goes into those guys and takes them out. I imagine that we see the Taraxii and the Rangers in the center killed.
This Falcon can
and we're
see
down to the 3
all
Scorpius
your
and Belisarius
or your
for
chickens,
Orteil's next
correct?
round.
Yeah, fair enough.
But he cannot reach the last one. But this one can see the last one. But he can see 4. That's the important thing. Okay.
David Gaylard, it's hard to win against...
that one, I don't know if you can see the second one on
I
the...
imagine you mean against Aeldari, where they have
But
uncontested
both of them
vibro
can
shooting?
see at least 4 and reach 4, correct?
The far back fire prism that you just... Can he see this guy? I don't think he can.
Okay. But this one can see those 4 and reach them. Yes?
Which one?
This one here.
Yes, correct. It's the other one that I'm wondering.
If I kill 4 of them and the last one is the one here, I cannot shoot them with the fire prisms. Agreed?
Yep.
That's about right.
Unless you shoot this fire, don't you have to shoot them one at a time? So this fire can only be 3.
No, they fire all together. Actually, the two fire together, and the other one fire last. But if the unit is alive, I can fire them all together. Because they
if
act
the
as
unit's
a
alive,
unit.
I see. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm with you. So as long as you can shoot 'em.
I will put this marker for the cannons that didn't move because there are only 2. Easier.
All right.
Yeah, that's my movement. I start my psychic phase. I spend 1 command point to give my psychers +1. I will start with my Farseer. I will cast Fortune, 5 up Philopene on the bikes. I pass it. I will cast +1 to my saves on the bikes. I passed it. I will cast Quicken, which is double move. I pass it.
As much damage as the Cerberus Raiders did on turn 1 to those jet bikes, I wonder if Orteal is regretting his decision not to go for the characters. I think he could have picked up the Spirit Seer on that first turn with the Cerberus Raiders. And that could have been... What does the Spirit Seer have for his powers? Quicken, yeah. That seems like it should have been the play. You just get that Quicken right out of there. I think maybe he's regretting that decision. He's got 2 more off the table, which is nice, or 3 off the table, which is nice, but would much rather those guys be basically out of threat range of getting that shoot and then charge. I actually don't know if the the bikes are gonna get in, because I think the Fire Prisms might actually just pick this unit up.
And my last spell, I will cast Doom for my Farseer in the Rangers here, in objective in the middle. It doesn't pass, but I have a reroll. Again, it doesn't pass, and it's immortal. So how much? 3, and I ignore mortals from perils on a 2+, so nothing. I will start my shooting. First thing, I will start with the Falcon here, hitting the...
He doesn't have Relic Hunters on the...
So
on the Shining
didn't
Spears,
move.
so they're just normal guys.
The Strength 8 only
They
can
don't
reach
get +1
them.
attack on objectives.
And hitting on 3, so 2 minus 3 damage each.
I think a lot of
And what's
Eldar
this on?
lists put a lot of stock
the
into their
chickens.
Shining Spears, and I actually like Drill's list because he's focused more on the guns,
So-
and the Shining Spears are kind of
One
an
dice,
afterthought. But it means he gets to use
Is
them
it-
as a toolbox
it's
unit.
3
They aren't
damage?
really
Okay.
pigeonholed into a
Yeah, it's
single
flat 3.
purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, the entire army is Master Expert Crafters, Masterful Shots. So Norse
Okay,
cover.
I continue. I will do the spears. 2 spears can reach that chicken, and 4 bikes, if I'm correct. Yeah, 4 bikes can reach the birds, and the two behind cannot reach anything. Okay, so 2 spears and 4 bikes in the chicken, in the birds. Okay.
Okay.
So starting with the spears.
Well, wait. The spears are 6 inches, and
Yeah. The spears goes
on
the.
Oh, not the, okay, I'm with.
I like that he's splitting his shots between chickens and birds.
So just 1 minus 4 to damage.
It's not confusing for your
All right,
opponent at all.
I will do now 4 bikes, as I said, here in the chicken. Four wounds.
So one more.
You will put it one behind the wall, yes? Or
Yep,
in
yep.
the one
Back in the
behind?
surprises one.
Okay, I will start the cannons now. That cannot reach. Okay. I will do this one first.
Okay.
I will do the one that move. This one over D3. I need threes. This is -1 to damage.
It's good.
I continue with the other one here. And I wounded the 2+ now. So 1 -2 to damage.
Why are you wounded on 2s?
Because this is the second one. The first wounds on 3s. Your toughness 6, correct?
You have to do a
I have to target to get the +1 to hit and +2 wound, and I have 2 wound, so you cannot. You are unable to advance. I have 2 abilities. I have just to target you to get the +1.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I thought you had to do a wound for that to work. So you're saying you don't have to?
I have to do a wound to negate your advance. I have just to target you to get the +1 to wound and +1 to the AP.
Okay, so just the +1 to wounds what I'm talking about. So you don't have to wound to do the +1 to wound.
No, just target.
Okay, that's why I didn't know. Okay. All right, he's good.
Chickens
It's
and
-2.
horses and
Oh,
birds
that
and electrolytes.
goes
my.
without wounding as well.
Yeah, it's the same ability.
Okay. And then how much damage? I'm sorry, how much damage?
2.
Thank you.
Okay, I will fire this one now. One -3 to damage.
Good.
I will shoot this one in front of him. Again, 1 -3 to damage.
And the game's lagging, sorry.
Yeah, I know.
It's good.
The one in front of him. Okay, this one. So 1 wound again, -3.
Good.
Okay, the last that can reach you that didn't move will fire. Two -3 to damage.
They go through. So 2 damage.
2 damage. So 1 dies, 1 wound to another one.
All right.
I have 2 cannons here that cannot reach anything. Okay, I will do the Viper, everything on the rangers in front of him.
All right.
Then I will throw a frag missile. He moves so on force. This is 2 wounds minus 1, and I have, yeah, save that.
Still 1 die.
Okay, and I have 4 shuriken shots. One wound. No AP.
Good.
I will do this Night Spinner in this squad. I will start with the cannon.
Hitting on 5s, right? Because he's greased.
On 6 is because he moved.
Okay.
Nothing, and I will do the shuriken now on 5. One wound and 1 minus 3.
So we'll do the -3 first. And then the 1 wound. Is there any OAP on the 1 wound?
No.
Alright. 1 do dice. Alright.
Okay, I will fire with this falcon in the chickens here, and the shuriken will go in the birds in front of him.
Alright.
I will start with the strength 6 weapon. Both -3 D3 damage.
And it's the birds.
No, this is on the chicken.
It's okay. Alright. So 1 saves. How much damage?
2. And the strength 3. 2 wounds, -3 damage.
And this is against the chickens as well.
Correct. So 1 dies, 1 half wounded.
Yeah, about the damage we expected so far, I think, on the Ballastaria.
And the
3
suits on the
dead so far.
on the bird.
Brutal. And I think the worst part about the resulting situation
So
for
1
Orteal
minus
is that
3,
his
3 regular.
return fire is even limited. He's probably going to be able to knock out this Night Spinner, maybe this Falcon, but he's not killing the Fire Prisms. He's not killing, sort of the unwounded Night Spinner, the things that are really going to start eating him alive. And I don't think he can afford to put too much firepower into the Vibro Cannons at this stage. You need sort of a high volume of reasonable attacks to kill the Vibro Cannons.
I will do this Night Spinner on the Skitari here on number 1.
Not terrible.
All right.
And each one of them just pumping out 2 damage or so is just going to slowly evaporate your army. The chickens are birds. So there's flightful birds and flightless birds, right, on the table? For
4
Orteal?
no AP saves. 2 damages.
What is not on the table are electrolytes now, though. So
I saved 2.
Gokhan. This matchup is going to change in 9th in favor of Admech. I think I agree. We've touched on some of the changes that are going to take place earlier in the game, but certainly I think the Eldar not being able to fall back and shoot loses a lot of their resilience. Also, as we were talking about before, I think in chat the Vibro Cannons become a lot less effective.
I have fired everything
And in general,
except
I think
of
you
the
just
fire
lose
spear,
a lot
the
of
fire
volume in
prism.
this
So I
list.
will spend 1 command point, and I will fire them all together in the chickens. So
That have to be within 60.
We just start calling them battle foul.
yeah, I'm 60 of him.
I'm in. I love it.
Wait, yeah, I'm measuring with the snap thing. Hold on.
What's a penguin in the Admech army?
Yep, you're good. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, because
Yep,
we
you're good.
discussed. Yeah, okay. I will use the second profile, D3 shots, neither moved, so they will fire twice.
all 3 of those fire prisms going into it for that stratagem thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I was thinking robots too, Austin, to be penguins. That's a good one. But Call maybe is an emperor penguin. All right, I like that. We could do a black and white cloak
What lets them reroll
for
everything?
Call.
the stratagem allows you to reroll.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So this is -4. Sorry, you have your 6 up, correct?
So yeah, they're dead. Is that how many damage each is that?
It's D3.
D3? Yeah, they're
Yeah. Actually, even if I roll just one,
yeah.
it's
That's
enough.
what I just added up.
So that's my shooting phase. I have to do my charge phase.
A lot of the characters are sort of penguinish. And
I will
Dominus, right?
charge this
Our big roly-poly
vehicle
boys.
and the
Those are
birds
Alright.
with the spears. So you can overwatch with both.
Yep, I'll do the vehicle first. 3d3 shot.
Sicarians look like storks. How's that?
One hit. And not a wound. And then one bird. One hit. Not a wound. Alright, good go.
You have any other weapons with the vehicle?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I got my D6. 5 shots. 2 hits.
Yeah, I think Night Models has some
Those are
good
2
fodder for
wounds.
that conversion there, Dan.
-2, so I will roll on my
The
3 up
Danny
in Marble
DeVito
save.
penguin conversion.
Saved.
No, Sicarian units are flamingos. I love it. But instead of being pink because they're eating
2
shrimp,
wounds, no AP.
they're pink because of their
Strength
5.
Yeah.
because they're bathed in the blood of their enemies.
Save both.
Okay.
So I will roll my charge distance. I need an 8 for the birds. I need 7 for the vehicle. And I roll an 8. I need a minute to think. I will also
Yeah, take your time.
with the Viper, the Ranger, so you can overwatch there too.
Alright. It's just one range. Ooh, double 6.
Please blow up the Viper. Oh,
And
no.
what's he toughness? 5?
That'll
So
be
no,
good.
no wounds.
Maybe you'll get him
Let
in
me roll
melee.
for the Viper. I will charge also with the Night Spinner if it's possible. I need like a 12.
Well, you gotta get around that. Oh, you fly. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. And I will do the spears. So the birds, do they do anything on the? Do they have a melee weapon?
Yeah. Well, the alpha has something special, but then their other melee is just their profile.
I will do the birds. Yeah, the birds. I will do my piling now. So just one model will be unable to fight. The other 5 will fight.
Okay.
10 attacks. Hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s. So this is -4 to damage it.
Say 1. So
5
5 die.
Ooh. At least that unit's still alive to get a couple points on behind enemy lines for Orteal here. I think that's
I
small,
will do also the
small
Viper
blessings
now
for him, though.
to attack. Nothing, you can attack back.
All right, please kill the Viper with the Run Ranger, s'il vous plaît.
Just 1 attack. Nothing.
Oh, no!
And the birds.
I mean, we may see a Insane Bravery here, right? I think we do, for sure.
Oh, I accidentally killed the alpha.
Of course, yeah.
There he is.
I think that unit is too valuable
Well,
over there.
no matter where he was, he would have just piled in.
Non-zero chance you
Yeah,
turn around
you
and try
can
to kill some
attack
Shining
that
Spears to
for
grab
sure, yeah.
Objective 2 again. You have OBSEC on Objective 1, so
everybody
you
said,
could bonus point
we'll
again.
hit the 3 other ones.
And you just fall back and try to blast these guys and take them out.
They have 2 attack
After an
strength.
Insane Bravery, I think that's what we're going to see from Orteal. At this point, he's sort of in damage control mode. Doesn't have a lot of opportunity to fight back into the game, but grabbing
hitting on
points where he
3s or
can is important.
3s. There you
So 0 AP, yes.
Yeah, I believe 0 AP.
2 up, saved.
All right, now the other alpha has 3 attacks plus 2 strength. So he 1 wound.
Saved.
All right.
You have to do your morals, and that's the turn. Here in the middle, you lost 3, correct?
Yeah, debating on if I want to save something for a point. Because you will get hold more, but I can stop that.
Yeah,
Does,
that's an interesting decision.
Viper, it doesn't have objective secured, right?
Oh, no.
Because you can block a point from Drill if
And
you
I lost 6 of these.
Insane Bravery, the
So
Vanguard.
everything that you roll here, -1. Those models die. So if you roll a 5, everyone dies.
Yeah, their leadership 7. All right, well, yeah, we'll do the auto pass on the Ranger.
All right, keeping the Ranger alive. So we just need a low. I guess we have a CP to reroll
Okay, took that. Now I'll roll on the.
on the Taraxii, which is a 4, so that would leave 1.
So 1 survives.
Ooh, okay, so we're probably not going to bonus this turn. You'd have to kill all of the Shining Spears and the Falcon. Seems like a tall order, but maybe it's possible.
All right,
Anything is possible
Aaron,
if you
my-
believe in the Omnissiah.
roll mechanic.
Let me score, kill, hold. I killed more, you hold more. I didn't kill. I killed, yeah. I killed. I max out Big Game Hunter. And yeah, you go.
So the Ranger is lead 7 and lost
5
4,
and 6,
right?
of course. Mechanic.
Or lead 6. Is that not the Ranger Alpha? Are the unit leaders not lead 7 over for these guys? I feel like they would be. And lost 4, so you need to roll a 4+ for that guy to run away.
Wait,
with a
did you kill
reroll.
more? Only killed 1.
Taraxii leads 7 and lost.
You just killed the Iron Strider.
And you killed also one. I
But I
killed
think
the
the
airstrikers.
Taraxii surviving is more impact. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
should be no kill more.
No kill more. Yeah, correct.
The Ranger's worth
I'm
2.
just deciding if I want
But
to
I think the
reroll one of
Taraxii
these
is also
Chronicles
worth
to get my
2.
movement.
Or he's worth an
real
extra
quick.
1 if he's able to hold objective 2. And I think the chances that the Raider survive are greater. Right. No, I guess there's more Taraxii in the unit, so maybe not. So maybe that was the right call.
Yeah, we just won't. All right.
Yeah,
So,
we're debating over sort of individual
mechanicals are
points,
gonna be
Clark. Yeah,
worthless.
it's not. I don't think Admech is going to swing back in the game now that Drill's brought it back to parity. He's going to pull ahead next turn and start crushing through. Probably so we see some 4-point turns starting to come out of Drill here. He ends the game 37 or so to maybe mid-20s.
Yeah, we're gonna reroll this. So spending the CP. 3, thank you. I can turn it into a 2, so I get my deal. So now I can move without penalty again. I get the plus. We're gonna try to advance this Ranger squad right here. A 4, so they move.
Yeah, I think Orteal probably wants to play it out for points for final
These
standings.
servitors will advance.
And trying to grab those additional points where you can is probably certainly worth it. Which is why I think trying to bonus this turn is probably worth the effort for him. Especially since he's going to have to kill that Falcon anyway. But if he can also get the Shining Spears, then he's going to be able to grab that bonus point with the Taraxii Survivor.
These guys are all just gonna move up top, basically. Manipulus is on advantage.
So now that you have moved the Rangers here, do they have coherency?
It's vertical, right? So I can be. I have a problem. I'll just move them out front instead of. Up.
If you put one down, you're okay, because
One
you have to have one, I believe, exactly underneath, if I'm correct.
I honestly don't know. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. What was I doing? Manipulus. So that's 2. So he +1 to advance and move. So he's 8 + 2, 10. And now the engine seer will.
Clark calling it 36 for Mekdar. Yeah, I think he scores 20 points, or 21 points, I'm going to say, over the course of the rest of the game. On primaries, that brings him to 31, and then 5 more points on secondaries, so probably 37. I'm going with 37. I don't think it's possible for Eldar to get a 5-point turn every turn. I think they get a 5-point turn on the last turn of the game. But I don't think that they will score 5. The bonus point's so hard on this mission.
These guys.
We should have some more streams for everyone later on in the day. For those interested in some more 40K content, I believe. I'm getting confirmation of the time right now. So it looks like John Damaris will be live on AOWPI tomorrow, not today. I apologize. With some more some 9th edition content.
Right.
And I may be live later on today with a different game. I may be live here with Crisis Protocol.
First. We're gonna
which is a game that I've made
this
some
front
content
sniper squad
in the past for, but I've never streamed
everything is going into
the play around with
into the budget. Oh, we need to fallbacks. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. So that guy will just do that number, and this. We'll do that number. Okay.
Yeah, Orteal, just in terms of raw scoring power, Orteal does have an out here in that he can just start targeting vibro cannons to get kill more every turn.
So
but I think he will begin to
shoot at
to start losing troops, these random 6-man troops squads, which will be problematic for him.
Actually, we'll shoot the back squad first because they're still within. All right, 1 dice for the. He missed. 8 dice for the other.
You're firing the front squad, yes?
No, the back squad.
So they are not in line of sight, in rapid fire, correct?
They should be. 30 inches. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so 1 minute.
The Arcabai seemed like a great pick, but right now this game
and strength 4 versus toughness 5.
Pulling their weight for Orteal.
There you go.
Yikes.
Oh, those 6s were 8. Oh, it doesn't matter. He dies anyway. As the 6s were AP minus.
Doesn't explode.
All right. Now the next group. All right. So we'll put everything on the next group into that Night Spinner on 1 wound. So we'll do the sniper first. Hit wounds.
Saves.
All right. And the 4 guys, they're not in rapid fire. Just 1 wound.
Dead. Explosion. No.
Okay. Yeah, I got one sniper squad.
All right, knock the
This
2
group of
wounded
5
vehicles out with those
dudes
guys.
down
That's
here.
helpful,
Gonna shoot the
at least.
shining.
Yeah, looks
Can
like we're
they
gonna
see
start
them?
hitting
Because
the-
the vehicle is exactly in front. It doesn't stop.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep, fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
All right.
the infantry certainly cannot see.
Oh, Daedalus is gonna put +1 to hit the Falcon.
Who does that?
Daedalus right here.
Okay.
Eric Guerra, I
So
think
within
could retreat
24
the
inches, he
bird
can
back
everything
into
he
the
shoots
corner.
is +1.
Well, I think what he's the
Within the aura.
it's gonna die
actually, I
either
didn't
way,
even
right? Like a
consider.
Night Spinner's gonna pick that up for a kill.
So I don't think.
And so you might as
Yeah,
well put it
everything
on the
else is out.
objective
So
in
it's
the
really
off
only
chance that
gonna
you
be
kill
this
these
tank
2
that
units.
can shoot it with the +1. The front tank.
That's
Because
for the Falcon here, correct?
Yes.
if you
Okay,
do
okay.
so, you'll get the bonus point, right? So it's worth an extra point if you put him
So I
there
guess we'll just shoot that into that
instead
Falcon.
of there.
Everything.
Whereas, yeah, I mean, I don't think it
Or actually,
makes a big
we'll
difference of
do
where
the
that guy goes.
indirect fire, the missile into that, and then the small gun going into the shining spear. So indirect first. So 8 shots. Hitting on 2s because of the +1. 6 explode. That many. Or wait, I'm sorry, your toughness 7, so 4.
Yeah.
4. So that
-1, correct?
Yep.
So 4 wounds.
Alright. Now the 1d6 shots is 6.
And the 2, correct? Because this is on the Shining Spear.
Yeah. No. Only the small gun, the missiles, the big stuff is going into that. The like bolters are going into the spears. So it's good. Like the 9 just bolter shot, strength 5 ones. Alright, that many wounds. AP -2.
Save 2.
And these are D3. I can just do them all. So that's 3, 5, 6, 7.
So 1 wound left.
Now this is the small arms going into the chickens. Or I mean the whatever sphere. Reroll for call. 6 is explode. There you go.
Strength 5.
Because of the +1 from the Mars.
Yeah, 2 plus 8. 1 pass. 5 up pain. Saved.
Alright. Okay. Of course, Daedalus just has a pistol it can't reach. Okay. Alright. So we will put actually I got one sniper left, but he can't see. Okay, so we will put the this furthest back guy here. He will do this time the big stuff into the shining spears and the little. Yeah, he should be sticking out. That was the intention.
Okay.
Yeah. So into the shining spears, and then the one, and then the small arms now is going into the falcon. So opposite of what we just did.
Okay.
So we'll do the indirect. It's only 4 shots. Reroll for 6 is explode. There you go. Those are your wounds. AP minus
3 up invulnerable. Okay. First one. Okay.
They're 2 wounds. You can just roll them all, and then.
Uh,
Oh no, you got. I'm sorry.
So first one dies because he has 1 wound. Second one survives 1. Third and last. So two model die.
Yep. All right, now D6 shot. 6 shot. They all hit. 6 explode. And their strength 8. So these are wounding on 2. So all those wounds AP minus 2.
3 up invulnerable. 1 pass. Damage.
Just 2 damage. Oh, I'm sorry. D3 damage. 1 sec. 3 damage.
Die.
All right, and then now the 9 bolter shots into the Falcon.
Yeah.
We roll for. Man, this lag's rough. And then wounding on 5. Only 2.
One exactly to explode. I explode. I hit both you and me. So for you, 1 mortal wound.
The guy says he has a wound on. He shouldn't, though, should he?
No, he
Yeah,
shouldn't. You know what? I will reroll that because I want him to die. So let's see. Yes, he dies.
Ooh.
And for me, 1. I roll my final fill of pain. No.
Yeah, that is the punish chat. Oh yeah.
Man, that explosion stick.
I...
All right.
Oops.
That also gives me my
I
last
was
mark of death.
sitting here like, hey,
Yep.
that's whatever. You can stand on the objective
Okay,
and hope to get
so
the bonus
that guy's
point,
gone
but
off the
that is
table.
the punish.
All right, you got 1 tank left.
Yeah, correct.
Yikes.
All right,
Yeah,
that
Eric
1 tank
Era and
is
Chad
gonna
definitely
shoot
called it.
everything into the shining.
That sucks. The reroll into the death too is just the rub-ins as well. Oh my god.
Is 4 7 shots.
Bobby Hall's Sisters for number 1 Army and 9th. Maybe. I think Sisters probably have a good chance of being good. See how well they can stand on objectives though, and I bet they'll be okay at it.
That many AP minus 2 damage each.
Yeah,
So
the Sisters
first
are getting
one-
the PEMDAS nerf though.
1 model dies. Second one, 2 model.
But you just got 1 left. All
Correct.
right. D6 shots. Just 2. They both hit. They both wound.
Yep. 3 up. Saved.
All right, 9 shots from the stubbers. There you go.
2 up. Yes, or everything saved.
All right. And snipers, none of that can see. So I just got the sniper. I guess he'll just shoot this front.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all he can do is that front one. No characters hanging out. Yeah, there's not. Just that front one's all. It hit. It wounds.
My 6 up. Damage.
3 damage.
Okay.
All right, that's it. Morale on your butt.
So I lost 5. I have 8. He survives.
All right. So I kill 1, hold 1. I don't bonus because you exploded. Had you got big game? Am I maxed on big game now? Probably, I'd imagine. At least close.
I have lost 4 vehicles. Yes.
And it cost me my behind enemy line. That was a 2-point swing. Nice for that explosion.
Yeah, the explosion making that only a 3-point turn, I think it's probably the final nail in the coffin there for Ordeal. Oof. Brutal. 3 disintegrators probably still going to get some work done, but I think fire prisms are going to start picking them up pretty quickly. And the fibro cannons beginning to menacingly move up the table.
So everything except of the fire prisms moved. I start my psychic phase. I will cast from my warlock +2 to cast on my farseer. I think I need a 6. Let me check because I'm not sure. Yeah, I need a 6 so it doesn't pass. My farseer here will cast a smite. I pass it. D3 mortal wounds. Just
Where's that at?
yeah, he dies.
This guy? Okay.
And he will cast Doom on the other squad, which is an objective. And I pass it. Okay, I will start my shooting phase now. I will start with my Falcon. The Falcon will shoot everything. Actually, no, the big guns here and the 4 shuriken shots here.
So all of the Rangers?
Yeah, the small, yes, on the
Yep.
Ranger here. Yep. So the Strength 8 first, he move on force, both I wound on 3s. I reroll 1. So just 1 minus 3, 3 damage.
Oh, I think -3 is going straight. So 3 damage just kills.
Okay, the strength 6. 1. Actually, I didn't reroll to hit. Just 1.
Oh, I do have a 6 up.
Toughness. What's your toughness?
4. This is shooting the Rangers, right?
No. I'm shooting with the second big gun that he has.
Where's
he has
that
two
go?
big guns. One strength 6. I'm shooting on the Scorpius.
Okay, toughness 7.
Toughness 7. So no pass. So just 3 wounds on the Scorpius. And on the Rangers.
Oh wait, what just happened? I took 3 wounds from.
Yeah, sorry. I have 3 guns with the Falcon. 2 guns.
Yep.
On
No,
the
what's the profile? Just tell me the profile of what just shot.
strength 8 minus 3 damage.
Okay, gotcha.
And let me roll the wound of the Ranger. I have Doom.
So wait, I get a save. It's -3. You said?
Yes, but you roll a 4.
Oh, did I roll? I didn't.
Yeah.
I rolled on no. Okay, go ahead.
The one regular.
I was
wound,
rolling. Yeah, get a roll a 6-up invul for these guys. Was that roll? I thought.
but he has a 6-up invul also the Scorpius, correct?
No, the Scorpius has a 3-up save. -3 means I get a 6. I get a 6-up save on what you just shot him with.
Practically the same.
I rolled once for my 6-up invul on the Rangers. That's what you shot first, right?
I start with the big guns on the Scorpius.
Oh, both of those were on the Scorpions. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were hovering your blue mouse over the Rangers, and I said the Rangers, and you go yes. So sorry. So you shot me the first time into the Scorpius with the first thing you shot, right?
Correct. And
Okay.
now.
So I need
with
to
the
slow down. I need to put a Ranger back because I took one away. Because I said you killed. Then,
Sorry, I didn't
yeah. And then okay. So now, how many wounds should the Scorpius get?
Just 3 wounds, nothing else.
Okay. All right. You're
And
good.
I have 1 wound on a Ranger. You have to save on your save. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I will start with the cannons. This cannon will attack the Rangers.
All right.
All the cannons moved. So 1 wound -1.
So 1 dead.
Second cannon on the Scorpius, the wounded one. Nothing. Third cannon in the same target. Now I'm wounded on 2s, -3 to damage.
They're safe.
Okay, fourth one. Again, 1 wound -3.
That goes. How much damage?
2 damage. So I have 5 cannons more, continue on the same target. Two wounds -3. So 3 wounds left. Sixth cannon. One wound.
Goes.
Seventh cannon.
Wait, he should be on 1 wound left, not 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have not hit the number on the last.
1 wound.
Goes through. Does it? Does not.
I have two cannons, the one here and one here. This one, no, this one will attack the Rangers. At 2 wounds -2.
So 1 die.
Last cannon, same target. Nothing. Night Spinner will attack the servitors. So 1 -4, 3 regular saves.
-4 for goes through. And those are good. So kills.
And last thing, I will again attack with the fire prisms on the Scorpius here. So I will spend 1 command point. I have 1 left. Again, same profile.
Oh, actually, I just realized you took 1 from the servitors that you shot, not the Rangers. I typed the wrong.
Sorry, come again.
Did the guy die from the Rangers or the Servitor when the Night Spinner shot? It was the Servitors, right? I pulled a Ranger,
Sorry, service.
so I should put 1 back.
So 12 wounds -4. Do you have a 6-up invulnerable save?
No, I don't.
No, it's enough to explode it, to destroy it.
Casual 12 wounds from the fire pistols.
Now, real quick. Yeah, I don't have a save.
Cool.
All right, does it explode? It does.
Oh no.
Do I care about it exploding?
The
I have 4
rubbins.
CP left. Yeah, I'm gonna roll it. I'll use.
This is probably as
All right, it's fine.
went as poorly as it could have for
Okay,
two.
actually, sorry, I forgot I have the Shining Spear also to shoot.
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Killing off 2 Scorpii.
I will use the shurikens on the servitors and the
At the very
spear on
least,
the
pushed off objectives
character.
so that Ortiz
Sure.
will get hold more. But I think certainly crippling damage to the Admech.
So I will start with the spear.
With no armored units left on the table, we're just down to some troops.
Okay,
Just
and the
stand on the objective
shuriken.
for a bit, but
1 -3, 1 regular.
All right, so -3. Let's see what is invulnerable. It does. It's a 1, so it's gonna fail, and then the regular. It's a 1, so it's not fail. Not that I'm. How much damage?
It's 1 damage each. This on the servitors.
Oh, this guy. All right, so we'll just get rid of 2.
The servitors have a 6-up, but it doesn't matter. You save it before. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah, I already did. Yeah.
And I will do a charge on the only thing that I can reach the character here.
All right, D3 shots with the pistol is 3. Sixes do something. So it has a. Yeah, are you within 6 inches?
How many inches?
6 inches. If you're in 6 inches, I have to use a different profile on the.
I am, yes. I'm
So I only get one shot then. I only get one shot. And it's AP -3, damage 3, so I gotta reroll. Basically, he just gets one shot, not D3 shots if you're within. It does hit.
It's on a 6, correct?
Oh, yeah. All right, you're right.
Yeah.
No hit. Thank you. All right, so roll your return.
And my charge. Okay.
Yeah, Caliph.
So
in
this
the
is
chat,
how I end up. No,
the
this is how I end
blue
up.
player,
I will do
Drill,
my piling now.
also known as Dimitrios, is from Greece.
Is your intention to be
playing
within
from
an
Greece.
inch of the tank?
Yeah.
Cool thing about the
That
T5S2
do
series,
anything
and
on
especially their global pods,
the fighting phase.
is that
He's any good.
No.
play with everyone around the world. which is very
Remember, I
exciting.
can with my engine seer here. I can fall back and shoot still. So you're basically letting me punch you for free. Just a heads up.
Okay.
So you probably don't want to let me punch you for a free one, unless. Well, what you'll do is, if you do it, you're gonna make me have to switch from the extra -1 AP at half range to the fallback and shoot. So you'll force that if you get in combat.
I don't mind. I don't mind. So I will go attack the character. One wound -4 to damage. Actually, no. You know what? Sorry, I don't want to be engaged. I will stay here. Okay.
All right. Well, I don't know if you could have spun that far, could you? But you can look at while I roll this. It's a 5 up. It doesn't go through. How much damage?
2 damage.
Or I guess you could have just charged on the other side. I'm fine. It doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, so 2 damage.
So you can attack back.
If attacking a vehicle, are you a vehicle? Do you have the vehicle keyword on that thing?
No, I'm a bike.
No. Okay, bike. That's right. So strength +1. His strength's normally 3. So strength 4, AP -1, 1, 2 shots. And no wound.
Okay. In the end of the fighting phase, I will fall back with him. Okay.
Okay.
Over here, and that's my turn.
All
So
right.
you have to roll a morale for them here.
Let me. What have you killed? 2 right now. And
Yeah.
then I killed. How many did I kill?
Turn, you killed 4.
4. Okay. If one of these guys goes, it doesn't matter. So we'll roll on the servitor first because they got a low leadership. I think they're only like leadership.
Leadership 6. So everything
I
you
lost
roll.
3. So I lost 3. So 3 + 3 is 6. So those guys are fine. So then I don't. So then I'll just roll normal on those. So that'd be 4. I lost 3. Would be 7. Their leadership 7. They're.
Okay, so I killed, I hold, I didn't kill more, I didn't hold more. Yeah, your turn.
All right. Yeah, that would have. Oh wait, I didn't. I should have got my bonus point last turn, right? Because I hit that guy on. No, he blew up in my turn. That's right. Yeah. So that was a swing and a half. Those 2 points right there. That blow up.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Go for it.
Do your. I will be back in a minute.
All right, I'll do mechanicals when you get back.
It was actually pretty good turn for Teal, all things considered at the end there. The fact that Drill elected to move off of the objective, I think, is odd. Lost him a point on hold. And then he could have pushed in and I think put more into the Rangers to try to kill them. And blocked the hold more. I don't know. I don't think that that's enough to put Teal back in the game. But it does sort of extend his life a little bit.
I'm back.
Losing probably 4 points
All I
on
moved is
secondaries
Daedalus.
is a big enough loss that I think
So these cannons can move 6,
Teal will
right?
have a tough time
Correct.
coming back. But it seems to me that Drill doesn't quite have the presence on the mission that he needs to, or on the objectives.
With the 6, I believe I will be out of the objective.
I'm just sticking him out so he can see the XR. Daedalus can see him with his pistol right around. And all right, good. Okay, let's do some shit. So first, Daedalus is gonna shoot the XR, and he's gonna put his +1 to hit on as well. So now I'm within 6, so it's only 1 die. It hits. Gosh darn it! It's 6. No, they don't on the pistol. Okay. So it hits. I'm outside of explosion. Yep. And it doesn't wound. Okay. Actually, do you mind if I do another click on my? I forgot to look at my aura range to make sure that guy's exploding. So I need to be within 6 inches of these guys. Do you mind if I do that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so you will move like 2 inches back.
Just going back, yeah. Just so I'll keep the same.
No problem. No problem.
Make sure I can still see around. Yes, I can. All right, now I'm. All right, so yeah. All right, so now we'll do this. He's gonna put his we're gonna put the indirect into this guy right here in the middle here, or the
This, correct?
the guy
Okay.
behind the guy behind him.
Yeah, the second.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right, and then everything else going into this X art that's right in front of me. We'll do the X art stuff. So 1d5 shot. Hitting on 3s, rerolling for.
Hitting on 2s, correct? Hitting on 2s. You are plus
Oh,
1.
Delosis. Yeah, that's right. And 1 explode. And there's your
I
wound.
really appreciate how
AP -2.
violently
AP
Drill
-2. So my
comes to,
4-up invulnerable save.
comes to his opponent's defense when he
Yeah,
forgets
it's
one
enough
of his
that.
own rolls.
All right. So the other weapons.
So that's a
Down
big
to
deal.
3 shots.
Shining Spear is taken care of.
2 there, 1 there.
I
Gosh,
wonder.
slag is slowing down a lot. Oops, 1 too much.
Yeah, I know. It's a little laggy.
Looks like if Drill just
Alright.
moves, he's 1 Fire Prism. He's going
Reroll
to be
for-
able to draw line of sight to that Scorpius' turn. So I imagine that the Fire Prisms,
No explosion.
with the last CP for Linked Fire, are going to be able to knock that out.
And strength 7.
But he
for
is going to have
supplies.
to move this this armor
There you go.
forward at some point.
-1, correct? So 5.
Yep.
Die.
Yep, that's 6 wounds. Do those explode or not? Or they just go.
No, that doesn't explode.
All right. So sniper.
We're finally starting to see Vibro Cannons taken out as well. These guys are the
So
downside
we'll
of the
put the
Vibro
back
Cannons is
squad.
that they are
Everything's
easy
going into the
kills.
support weapon.
Guess they're trying to pick those guys off.
Oh, that one's wounded. Or is it supposed to be wounded, or is that wrong?
Yeah, you wounded the previous turn with one of your snipers.
Okay.
Let's go Transuranic Archebuy.
So
Maybe we
one shot with
we
the sniper.
actually see some damage from these things.
You
It hit.
are hitting that, correct? The wounded one.
Yeah. Ooh, it does a mortal.
Oh.
Wound.
Yeah, roll a 6 for the save.
Do I
guess?
save?
No, it's dead.
No. Damage?
It's
Doesn't
just
matter.
it did 1 mortal plus 1, 2,
Yeah.
2. So then the other guys are wasted. To put them in.
There you go.
I guess everything else kind of has to go into that.
If only those Archebuy had turned on 2 rounds previous, I guess we could have seen some
I see that.
real damage.
So I'll do this. So the 4, there's 2 squads left. 2 snipers are shooting this weapon over here, and then the 4 guys, other ones, are shooting this tank here because that's all they can see.
Okay.
So I'll just roll. All right. So the 2 snipers, 1 hit, and strength 5 that doesn't wound. Is it hits or wounds or an extra?
5s, correct? Yeah.
No, I get an extra AP, a wound roll. Okay, that's what I need. All right, so these are the wounds on. Only 1, but it's an extra. It's AP -1 because it's.
One question, because no, I'm not in that so people. So a 4-up. Save.
All right, and that should be the end of my shoot. And I don't have any charge, so that is it. That's the end of my.
Shield, you hold, and I start my turn. Yes. If I move the fire prism here, I can see your vehicle, correct?
Yep, you can. Is this extra fire prism supposed to be in the middle?
No, I destroyed the one that I copied and it spawned.
Gotcha, it's fine. We can play right.
The age-old TTS bug strikes again. Fortunately, as the host, I don't get those. Handy dandy.
Yeah, that's my movement phase. We'll start with the psychic. My spirits here will cast smite. It passes. Three wounds here.
Then
My Farseer will cast Doom. I passed. Actually, no, I don't pass it. I will roll one of the two dice.
Yeah, I think
Now, I will cast in
Admech
this
probably
here.
didn't
That's
play
the only thing
aggressive
that I
enough
can
early.
reach.
At least with their
Front squad's got
deployment
it.
and their initial
Yeah,
placement, they
and
sacrificed a
that's
lot of their direct
my
fire shooting on the
second
first
phase.
turn.
I
That could
start
have
my
been
shooting phase.
good, and obviously have a sort of rolling effect
So I start with this cannon.
in
shooting
terms
the first one.
of attrition throughout the game. They deployed very
Again, all my
conservatively
cannons moved.
with all of their tanks behind this ruin, and the Eldar dropped and deployed everything they had in this area, basically. So none of the tanks stood still. They didn't get to fire their direct fire shooting. There was a
Two
unit of
wounds minus
Iron
one.
Striders back here that only got 4 to shoot. Whereas I think if the Admech had just
second
placed
cannon in
outside
the
the
same
ruin here,
target.
they could easily have shifted over it and fired everything into the Eldar army. And then
One
they
shot,
had
one death.
Taraxii and 2 units of Cerberus Raiders sort of engaging everything that the Eldar had, which were going to die, but the Eldar needed to take care of them to stop
Nothing. Third cannon.
to stop them from scoring secondaries and engaging everything in melee. So I think Admech could have played more aggressively and
So 2 wounds minus
sort of forced
three.
the issue with the Eldar. And we probably get to a similar game state earlier in the game, but I think 2 full rounds of full army shooting that the Admech almost lost with the way it ended up being deployed, I think could have turned
I will do
this,
now the
swung this right back in
Falcon
the Admech's
second
favor.
squad.
Actually, I'm gonna leave the alpha alive there. I'll get rid of the sniper.
Okay. That does it matter for the wounds? I can roll the big guns together.
What are you shooting? I'm sorry.
I'm shooting the Falcon. I will shoot a strength 8 minus 3 damage and a strength 6 minus 3 D3 damage. I can roll them together, correct?
No, I mean, what are you shooting? What unit? That's what I was at.
The
Second rank.
Yeah, the second rank.
Okay, go for it.
Two wounds.
They're dead.
I will go in my fourth cannon in the same squad. One wound minus one.
They're good.
Fifth cannon. 2 wounds -2.
Let's go through.
My last cannon in this side in the same squad. One -3.
Wait, what just shot?
My last cannon here shot the same target, so the sniper.
Oh. And at what?
Just
Oh, no.
one -3.
He's good.
The cannon here will attack the servitor. Nothing. I have the Night Spinner who will attack the full squad of Skitari.
All right. But actually, I pulled another alpha. Do you mind if I put it back here before you go? Sniper.
The
Does that
sniper
affect
dies.
anything? Yeah. You probably prefer to have him dead.
Agree. So 4 wounds.
So 2 death.
And last thing, I will spend my last command point to fire all the fire prisms on your vehicle.
All right.
So 1 moved, but moved half his distance, so he will fire twice on 4s, and the other 2 are on 3s. So 10 -4, you don't have a save. I roll immediately the damage, and he dies.
So you blow up. No.
Roll your morals, and that's my turn.
So front one. 5, lost 4 would be 9, so he runs. Next one. Same thing. And
Last cannot, yeah, because they have 7. Yeah.
yep, so they're good.
So I killed, I hold, we hold the same, I don't have the bonus, I killed more, and your turn.
Did you kill more?
2 here, I killed 1 vehicle, and you killed 3. So I killed 1, 2, 3. No, we killed the same. Yeah, correct. Sorry.
Oh no, all good. Oh, actually, you got killed more because there was those 2 guys sitting on here in the middle.
Correct. Yeah. So
Yeah. You killed 4. Okay. All right. Yeah, I probably should have CP one of those. Okay, my turn. Do you want to just talk it out? Call it a day.
If you want, yes, I don't mind.
Do you guys hold? Hide guys behind that wall and move characters out.
Yeah, for sure you get 2 holds for sure. I will get at least 2 more kills.
Yeah, I don't know. We
least...
might roll. No, I don't think I can kill anything. I don't think I get enough. I'll see how I do.
If at least get 1 kill more, I win. With yeah. No, I have to get 2 kill more. Actually, I will hold also.
It matters. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter for you. Go ahead and max out those. Still more. You could probably get to the bonus last round, right? Because you got that dude. He's a move up.
or I can last turn I can use my bikes to send them on the objectives. With Quicken, they go 22.
Yeah,
I will have one here, and the other one will go here. I will try to kill them. Yeah, you know.
So the only question is if I can kill one, and then I'm not gonna get. Actually, I guess I got this dude here. Could I eke out a hold one? You would kill. No, you just shoot him off the table the next turn. So I'm not getting any. Yeah, so I'm not getting any. All right. Yeah, I think that is it.
Good game.
Yep, good game. Yep, enjoyed it, man, for
Looks
sure.
like that's
Good
a wrap,
stuff.
ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
29-22 in
you,
favor of the
thank you.
Aeldari. I think the early passive play by the Admech, like we were talking about just a little bit previously,
So we
hurt them
just
in the early
log
game.
out. Trevi, what do we do?
Well, you need to. We need to post the scores.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and import this, input the scores, guys. That's okay. You don't have to do it.
Oh, cool. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for playing. That was an interesting game. I do think it felt to me like maybe the Scorpius were a little out of position in their deployment, and getting their direct fire shooting earlier in the game would have helped a lot.
Yeah, I didn't. Big mistake wasn't a knucklehead. Just I'm not used to playing in the morning. I thought I tagged all those vehicles at the start. Was my plan, so that they wouldn't. I knew he'd deploy over there, and then
Yeah.
I forgot they all had fly, and that was kind of the game right there. Once I did that.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
like,
some 9th edition rules bleeding in too a little bit, right?
yeah, I'm not used to playing this early. But the other thing is, if I would have done that, then I would have used those dogs to just keep bonus, and I wouldn't have thrown them away. And
Sure.
then I would have had the Paraxi to bonus, and I would have been able to keep that
Yeah.
going up there. So I think that was the big thing. And then I could have waited a turn on the chicken, but I was kind of frustrated at that point, and I just said, "Yeah, let's put them out and do it."
Yeah, that's definitely fair. But I didn't dislike that play of at least forcing them to move, and then also deal with those guys that were in there. And I think if you have units on both engaging all the tanks and on objective 2, the Eldar have to turn around and kill them, right? Like almost that turn. Otherwise, like you said, you're just going to continue the bonus train.
Yeah,
And it felt to me like that is an opportunity you could have used to put the Iron Striders and the Scorpii in a more central position, and then just like sort of get 2 rounds of actual shooting out of them.
yeah, I agree. I could see that too, being a little more aggressive with the deployment,
Yeah.
and then getting in. I was just really worried about those fire prisms, just shooting them off the board.
Yeah.
So those
yeah,
things are just
for sure.
tough. Yeah, there's not much I can do there.
Yeah. But
Very
at least
good.
you get the first hit, right? So that's something.
All right. And then, you didn't message, you stream the rapid fire pods or not? Because that finals is at 8 in the morning Central tomorrow.
That is for 5.
Yeah,
5?
5.
Yeah, I stream those when I can. So yeah, I can.
I mean, you don't
I can
have
stream
to. I
that
just
one.
didn't know. I never talked to you and told you when we got it scheduled. But
Yeah, no,
we're doing it
I'll put it in the schedule.
tomorrow at 8.
8 U.S. Central Time.
Yep. So it's
Awesome.
an hour earlier
All
than
right.
this one. So you'll
Sounds
see
good.
me. I'll get better sleep tonight.
All right, I'm counting
not
on
charge my stuff into flying vehicles.
it. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll put that
All
in the
right.
schedule, and everybody in the chat look forward to that first thing tomorrow.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Congratulations on the win, Drill.
Thank you.
How did you feel about this matchup going in? Did you you felt like you had the beef to deal with it?
I did a big mistake with the objective. I had put it in the upper corner so I could hold more easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was certainly a little hair raising anytime you're in ITC and you're not scoring your hold point. But I think it certainly looked to me like the refused flank deployment that you did, I think was absolutely the right call, and a very good move, honestly.
Yeah. I was scared of his chicken, so I had to go away, and I had to destroy them first
Right.
before they could kill more.
Yep. Now, if the situation had been different, and let's see if I switch my color here so I can draw. And give me 1 sec. Let's give me my tools back. So, for example, if the Admech had placed sort of their tanks here, where I'm drawing, do you think that would have changed your game plan at all?
Yeah. Again, I would use this ruin because I was afraid first turn that he will kill all my characters because he had snipers. And I believe this was one of his mistakes. He should have killed.
He absolutely should have. You gone for the spirits here, right?
Yeah. Because that changed a lot because I had the bikes that came here. They killed the birds. They drawn some fire. They hold an objective. They did a lot.
Yes. Yeah. And without that quicken, they're significantly less dangerous.
Yeah. But yeah, for sure, if he had put his things here, I would deploy it actually again, but in both two corners. So deny as much as possible.
Sure. Yeah, you just split to both sides. That makes a lot of sense. Well, cool, man. Again, congratulations on the win, and I'm sure we'll see you in another pod finals relatively soon.
I hope.
All right. Well, have a good one, and thanks for playing. Thanks for the good game.
Thank you.
All right, chat, that's going to be it for me for today, or for this game anyway. Like I said, I might be online later on in the day, actually in probably about 10 minutes if we end up going live. And I might be streaming some MCP. For those who haven't taken a look at MCP, highly recommend as a game to take a look at. It's a super cheap buy-in. You can play it on TTS, obviously, and it takes less than an hour to play through a full game. I'll see if my opponent's okay with me streaming that, and if he is, then that's what I'll do. And then, like we just talked about, we'll be live at 9 a.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time with the Pod 5, Rapid Fire Pod 5 finals. That's going to be Admech versus Aeldari again. Whoa! But this is actually a much different Aeldari list. This is triple Shining Spears from David Gaylord, a.k.a. True. Triple Shining Spears, triple Fire Prism, triple Night Spinner. So a lot more combined arms Aeldari list, and we'll see if Orteal can come back and with the lessons he's learned from this game, maybe not try to pin flying vehicles in melee. I don't know, something like that. Thanks everybody again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. I think this was a good one, at least the first couple turns. Seeing the power of those the Iron Striders is very cool, but unfortunately the lack of resilience there kind of hurt them a lot. And obviously the mechanized Eldar list is a strong contender in the meta right now, so no surprise there that it was able to hold its own. But that's going to be it for me. So keep it classy, folks, and thanks for watching.